Stream or video by the time a lot of you guys may see it. We're going to be talking about just my overall 2023 for the business wrap up, as you can tell from the title of the stream, title of the video. Of course, if you're tuning in live, we'll be answering your questions throughout the way as well. It doesn't have to necessarily be on topic per se, but yeah, we'll just kind of hop right into it. For those of you that don't know who I am, of course, my name is Griffin Thomas. I own the pest control company, Preferred Pest Management, in the Dallas, Texas area. We've been in business for over 3 years now, and on this channel I just kind of document my overall quote-unquote entrepreneur journey, if that's what you like to call it. But yeah, without further ado, we'll just kind of get right into it in terms of my overall numbers. I was actually still leading up to the stream kind of in the process of getting everything put down, like on, a notepad, in the notepad application and whatnot, but I also figured this would be a great time to kind of hop in to Gorilla Desk and show everybody kind of what the new dashboard looks like as well. So you're probably wondering, what's all going on here? So there's a lot going on here. So what I wanted to do is kind of pull everything up in terms of revenue per month, take a look at just various things that'll help you long term that I literally just discovered this evening, as a matter of fact. One thing that I was kind of confused about is this active services down here, because this was a tool I was planning on using for tonight's episode about how many active reoccurring services we have, because obviously that's a very important number, right? However, as you can tell, these numbers do not add up at all. I mean, of course, we have way more than 11 quarterly service customers. We have way more than one person on the quarterly setup paying per year. We have way more monthlies. Just stuff isn't really, it's not adding up. I mean, we have way more than 62 active services. Like I said, I'm going to give you guys a full breakdown, but I thought I would kind of knock two birds out with one stone this evening. Just kind of diving into the analytics on the Gorilla Desk dashboard side of things. I will say this dashboard is still very new, so I'm sure they're still working some kinks out with it and all that type of stuff. But yeah, it's very interesting to see that these numbers just don't really add up at all, because if we go over now to our customers tab, which I got to be real quick to get all that stuff taken off. Let's get rid of everything real quick. You can see we have total about 200 customers with a service. Those are all of our customers that are on recurring services. You're probably looking at it and going, holy crap, 425 without a service? You must have a crazy high cancel rate. No, as a matter of fact, what that is one, you do not want to delete customers that you only do one-time services for, which is what about 80 to 90%, if not more, of this is. It's, exclusion services, one-time termite treatments, one-time general pest control treatments, just general inspections that, we would charge for. Anytime a customer has been serviced, they're going to go into this total, well, once you make them an active customer, that is, for us, that's once they have an invoice on their, in their account. That is when they would go over here to the total customers tab. And then, of course, we got some leads. And what it means by leads is, when you go over here to your leads tab. Oop, I don't know what's going on. Come on. Are we glitching right now? Do I need to try to go back into Gorilla Desk? Come on. Let's see. Want to try this again? Leads. Here we go. And this is something too that we have finally kind of figured out. As you can see here, we had it kind of all over the place. We've finally figured it out in terms of our APIs with Zapier. or Zapier, however you like to pronounce it. We had it right in July and August, and then something happened where it dropped off and I didn't even realize it. And then at the very end of November, we got that all set up here, hence why you see for source it says Zapier API. So the ones that are in this red, these are, leads that have, been turned into customers. And then all these are just, people that have either called us, submitted a form, that kind of thing. And, they're just kind of entered in there. Like this one, for example, it says it's still a lead, but this is an active customer. She just had called us through our Google Business Profile, and for some reason, it didn't trigger that, hey, this is an existing customer or something. We're still working out with Zapier. Again, a lot of it is still work in progress. But yeah, when it comes to all that, that's kind of a different subject for a different day. Back to the whole point with customers, and as to what the reports were showing on GorillaDesk, as you can tell, those numbers don't add up because we have 190 customers that are on, our recurring services, regardless if it's yearly exclusion renewals, yearly termite renewals, quarterly pest control, monthly, commercial, whatever the case may be. We have about 200 total now, where if we scroll all the way down here, it's saying 62. So obviously some very large discrepancy. This is for this year. So, everything should kind of line up. I'm planning on, reaching out to Chris directly, just kind of see what's going on with that, because it's very odd. Maybe, who knows, maybe it's something that we're doing that I'm not realizing, like when we're setting up the customer or something. I have no idea. But let's go back up here to, I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to the sales forecast tool as much as I used to anymore, just because it doesn't factor in, if you've gone in and taken out some recurring customers who maybe just let you know they've canceled, or maybe you haven't even put a job in that's going to be a new yearly. Like us, we sell a lot of customers now who pay for the year up front, so I don't pay as much attention to that. What I pay attention to is this at the top where we have it set for the year. You can see it's saying overall in revenue $157,744. We got a couple thousand roughly outstanding at the moment. If you wanted to, you could even filter this down here so far this year. Let's see. Incomplete still, 6,700. And yeah, see, even this here doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because what's with the large discrepancy? Why, even if, all this goes is saying only about 126. But again, I know for a fact, it's 157 just from my QuickBooks and all of that. The only thing that I can say, which I just thought of this, is this may be without sales tax. Because, of course, we have to charge sales tax down here. But no, that still wouldn't be quite that much. That'd be $32,000 in sales tax. I'd have to do the math, but I'm pretty sure that is still off. So again, some discrepancies here with this dashboard on GorillaDesk. If I can, set up something with Chris or somebody in their tech side of things and get everything figured out, I'll definitely do an update in terms of the GorillaDesk new dashboard that they just set up. This wasn't even a thing until recently on GorillaDesk. All you do essentially is go through your reports, your leads, your inbox. Again, this didn't exist at all. Customers, calendar, review generator, and that was it. Just recently, they added this new dashboard feature, and I think it's going to be great long term, but definitely has some kinks to work out for sure. But yeah, overall numbers, as you can see right here, we're looking at, if we don't sell anything, tomorrow or Saturday, essentially, we're looking at finishing just right below $160,000 on the year, which in terms of growth overall, what we did last year, not including, the sales tax, or maybe that was including sales tax. I'd have to go back and watch my own video. But what we did last year was something like 147,000. Let's see. So that comes out to what? Pretty much right at 10,000. A $10,000 difference year over year divided by 147. not even great growth, really. I mean, it's a 6.8% growth year over year. One thing that I will say, though, that I like a lot more about this year than last year is this year we are noticing when you compare the jobs sold, customers gained, all those analytics, you will actually see that this year we gained a lot more on recurring general pest control, recurring, rodent control, recurring commercial work. Like it was all recurring. Where last year a lot of it was wildlife based because, like most of you all know, last year we were on a wildlife website that was literally generating ridiculous amount of calls. Like we're talking 30 to 70 calls a month, just wildlife specifically. So with that, our sales last year, while they were close to what they were for this year, it was all like one time, if that makes sense. It was a lot of like big ticket, like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. We even had one that was like almost $4,000. Like it was all just boom, 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 like big job. Where this year, as you can even tell, with our revenue by month, I don't know what's going on with my mouse right now. It's kind of pissing me off. As you can tell with our revenue kind of month to month, outside of course, the usual fall and winter, slowdown, we were very, pretty much equal. Of course, March and April, even May and June to a certain degree are kind of your larger months. March and April specifically every year is just booming for us. But overall, you could see that our average month was right around probably 13,000 roughly, if you were to kind of average it out. Where if we go, I'm interested, I haven't even looked at last year's yet. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, like look at these swings now. So you can see boom, boom, and then just bam, drop. And then we had a little spike in August when, of course, August, September, sometimes rodents will start acting up. They did again. They did, last year, and they did again a little bit briefly here as well. But again, it wasn't a point of emphasis for us like it was last year. Because then you can see immediately after August, boom, September drop. October you recovered a little because, of course, some more rodent work coming in. But then December, boom, big drop again. So a lot of choppiness, a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? I guess like instability, I guess. I feel like I'm thinking of another word, but just a lot of up and down because, again, we're very big job dependent where this year, and like we said, that's not recurring income either. We've had, from last year, we may have had half a dozen people, you're talking 12 to $1,400, maybe 1,500 at the max, gained last year over, those ongoing yearly renewals for the exclusion warranty renewal. But again, this year it's been a lot more emphasis on growing the continual, customers that are either paying us per month, paying us per year for general pest control, general pest and termite, preferred protection plan, which of course is our pest, termite, rodent, mosquito, kind of our all-in-one bundle. We've had a lot more sales on that, and on top of that, we didn't have to pay for practically any of it. We did a very small Google ad earlier this year, and then, of course, the past few weeks to almost a month now. Actually, I think like right at a month, we've been running a Google ad as well, which we haven't ran since last Friday because, I've been off for the holidays and whatnot. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you all as well, of course. But, yeah, I mean, that when I compare the 2 years in terms of cost per acquisition and customer life expectancy in terms of how long we expect them to remain a customer with us, which of course leads to more money, obviously, longer term for the company, cash flow and all that stuff, it's way better. Like, we're set up for way better. Just to give you guys an idea, whenever we were coming into this year, when you're talking about, your sales forecast, that number that was down here, right? When we were looking at it coming into the year, it was under $100,000. It wasn't too far under $100,000, but it was well under $100,000. Where if we look at next year's sales forecast already, you're pushing almost 120, 118 and change. So, you know, in terms of growth year over year on that, just getting it pulled up here for you guys. I want to say it was at like 92 or 93. We'll just say 93 to be, you know, guessing heavier. So what? That's pretty much right at $25,000 difference year over year in terms of recurring revenue growth divided by 93,000. So our recurring growth was growing at a rate of pretty much right at 27%, 26.89% year over year in terms of the overall growth of recurring revenue. So that is very encouraging. Now, of course, we want that to be higher. You know, I'm not okay with just growing the company in terms of recurring revenue at 27%, or, you know, even in terms of dollars, which is what matters the most, $25,000. You know, I'm not okay with that personally. My goals, you know, we'll get into my goals and whatnot here in just a little bit, but, you know, pretty much in terms of what I was expecting for this year versus what transpired this year, I'm not pissed off, but I'm not satisfied either. Like I'm kind of neutral. My overall goal going into the year was for overall revenue to be 200,000 plus. So we are finishing below that, but you know, when I was going into this year, I wasn't thinking, you know, about the fact that we weren't paying that wildlife company anymore for all those leads that were coming in. Had we been paying for that, you can easily add another 50 plus to our top line, like to our revenue. So at that point, you're looking at what, 207, 208. So, you know, it's kind of a catch-22 type. I don't even know how to explain it other than, you know, a goal is a goal. At the end of the day, you do what you can. There's a lot of things that, you know, I'll talk about here in a little bit as well, about like things that I've learned throughout 2023, things that I wish I did differently with the business in 2023. Some of it's business and some of it's personal life stuff, because obviously as a small business owner, that all goes hand in hand. But yeah, I want to get to some of your all's questions real quick. Let's see. Got a few questions once you go through the main topic. Oh yeah, no, I appreciate you holding on to them for sure. And don't hesitate to throw them out there too. So like if you feel like you're going to forget your questions, don't feel like you all need to hold on or anything. Feel free just to fire it. And if nothing else, I'll just let you know that I'll answer that in a few minutes once we wrap up or whatever. Definitely going to use Gorilla Desk when I start up. Yeah, no, Gorilla Desk is just getting better by the day. Like I said, I feel like this tool is going to be, in terms of the dashboard, because that was not a tool that was on here before, I feel like that's going to be a pretty big game changer long term. I'm sure they're just going to, like they keep doing everything with this platform, just making it better and better and better. And by the way, for those of you that are starting a business like right now, or you know that you're very, very close, we always, in every video, I have my LinkTree, which is down in the description box. The owner of Preferred Pest Management, the owner of Gorilla Desk, Chris, he hooked you all up with like a free 2-week trial of their pro version to try out using our affiliate code. So if you want the link for that, I think it's like right in my description box. It says my LinkTree. You click that. The Gorilla Desk link should be one of the first links on there. It'll say like, get Gorilla Desk now, or try Gorilla Desk for 2 weeks free, something like that. But yeah, no, I've used them since day one, and it just keeps getting better and better. That's why, like, even though I'm kind of not annoyed, but just kind of wondering kind of what's going on with some of this stuff not lining up with our actual numbers, I know that, you know, who knows, it could even be user error on my end. Like I said, I'll get that worked out with them. And maybe, like I said, maybe it's something they still need to work on. How's it going, Aaron? Banking on house mice being the main service. How do you price your house mice services? So yeah, real quickly, just to touch on that, you know, you could do a various amount of ways. You know, early on, a rat job is what ours was our first job ever sold. and I priced it so bad. I still made money, but I still priced it just horribly bad. I was just like, okay, my stations cost this. It's going to take maybe an hour of my time. I'm going to charge, $85. And, looking back on that, obviously that same service today is $195. But, there's multiple ways that you can do it. The easiest way to do it is, how much does it cost you to get a bait station, what type of bait station you're using, all that. A lot of our bait stations we can get for around $10, on average, concrete block. A little bit more, but usually around $8 to $10 for no concrete block. Sometimes half a dozen bucks to $15. I think even more now, as a matter of fact, for the concrete block. So usually my rule of thumb is, around $50 per bait station, double or triple for the trap cost as well. And then, of course, whatever you want the company to make in terms of overall, profit of employee hours and all that type of stuff, wear and tear on your vehicles, taxes, this and that and the other. Depending on how far you got to go out, all that type of stuff in there. Usually my rule of thumb for setting up any rodent control for residential specifically is going to be, minimum $150 to $175, and then each recurring follow-up after that is going to be between $75 to $95 plus tax. And, that's unlimited in terms of, it doesn't matter if I'm coming out in a week or if I'm coming out, a month later, or a quarter, whatever the case may be that you're setting that up at in terms of recurring services and all of that. But like I said, when it comes to the rodent side, it can get a little cloudier, which is probably why you're asking that question. It's not as straightforward. It's just general pest control, right? But I think I at least kind of gave you somewhat of a good framework of what to start with. And then from there, you kind of feel out the competition, feel out what customers, feedback are. Is everyone just saying, no, you're too high? Or is everybody going with you and maybe you need to raise your price a little bit? But yeah. How much did you pay yourself at first? So the first probably 3 months, not really anything. Luckily, when I first started my business, my wife was still working. She literally had just started her job back up whenever I lost my job at Terminex and I was getting certified. So God's timing was everything there. But, it did help from that side of things. It kind of gave me a little bit of a cushion to not necessarily fall back on, but our cost of living was pretty low. We were living in a townhome at the time. This is 2019, 2020. We were in a townhome for $1,200 a month. Looking back on it, I wish we had just stayed, to be honest. We just outgrew it at the end of the day. But our cost of living was low enough where, for the most part, we weren't really pressed on me needing to pull money out immediately. We also had a little bit, like I mentioned, about my overall journey. I had overall about $10,000 roughly to open the business, fund the business, fall back on for expenses, and everything just kind of worked out perfectly. I started paying myself right around March of 2021. So started in November. So I think I paid myself a little bit in December because we went to visit family. I think we did. Went to visit family in the Midwest, and I paid myself just a little bit, if I recall, for that. Don't believe I paid myself in January. February, I may have a little bit because we were in the process of moving to our new home. Not the one we're in now, but our previous one. And then, March, when we really kind of blew up, was when I started actually, okay, now I can kind of pay myself a little bit. And in terms of how much, man, that's a good question. In all honesty, I'd have to go back and pull out the bank statements to know an exact number, which I'll probably do for y'all sometime, because that's actually good to know, how to roughly have an idea of what to plan on. I'm trying to think. I think when I started paying myself in March, probably definitely less than $3,000 to $4,000. When we go back to 2021, Google local service dependent back then. So March, like we said, first, quote unquote big month, right? We literally went from like 1,500, boom, to almost 10 overnight. Yeah, I want to say that month I paid myself between 2,000 to 4,000. I had a lot of lead cost, somewhere around $1,000 to $2,000 going out to Google Local Services at the time. So, after that, and then the chemical costs, that was probably, we'll just call it 4,000 in expenses. And of course, I was trying to save some money as well for just taxes and this and that. So yeah, I would say I definitely paid myself no more than 3,000 or 4,000 that month. April, I know for a fact I paid myself a little more because I did some stupid stuff that month. Not like too stupid, but just stuff that wouldn't do today. My first time ever in my life making over $10,000 in a month. Yeah, looking back on that, like I would do anything to go back to those days because like you feel just like, oh, I made it, right? Like once you make 10K plus as a business owner, you get just this like almost what's the word I'm looking for? Just a high, like you're just like like I've arrived, right? And then, of course, I got married in June, so that month got cut down big time because I took like a week or two off because we had our wedding, our honeymoon, all this stuff in Hawaii, which was part of what I was referring to whenever I said we did some dumb stuff with money back in April. We went in and paid for that honeymoon and all that stuff. And then Google Local Services gave me a little for that because I paused my ad, so it took them a month or two to get me going again. And then for some reason, October, November, local services really just started falling off for us. I don't know if it was just the market started getting saturated with companies or what, but we were very, very, very local service driven at that point. But this gives you an idea, of one, how much we kind of made that first year, first full year that is, because of course we opened in November of 2020. And then like I said, in terms of what to pay yourself, it's going to depend just on marketing costs, how much are you really trying to expand, how quick are you trying to expand, and then of course how much does your family need from you, right? Because like I said, thankfully my first few months, my wife was working, we were at least paying bills and that kind of stuff. And then, once I started making the bigger bucks there in the spring, that was when we kind of started, pulling out some from the business. So everybody's journey is going to be different from that side of things, but at least give you some kind of an idea. Let's see. How much of your total revenue is reoccurring? I think you may have mentioned it. But I'm not sure. That's actually what we were kind of looking at in terms of, let me see, what we were trying to get, broken down was they have this active services tab in the dashboard. As you can see, it's not right at all. It shows that we have 11 quarterly customers, 1 customer on quarterly paying yearly, only 3 exclusion renewals per year. It's just weird. Let me try something actually. Let's do all time. Let's see. Yeah, this still ain't right. I was wondering if maybe that was just showing what we gained net on the year, but this still isn't right either, because see, it's still only showing 11 quarterly, 12 INIs. Yeah, it's very weird, man. It's frustrating too, because I want to give you guys a factual number, not just a ballpark. I'll have to add that up, but I can tell you, and maybe this number is right at least. I don't know where they're getting this number from because none of these numbers here changed at all. I don't even think this adds up to $8,000, but I can tell you for a fact that our recurring revenue, in terms of a total revenue, this is more of a monthly. So I guess we could just multiply by 12. or actually the easiest way to do it, without factoring in what they're showing, would be just look at your sales forecast for 2024. That's another way you could look at it, because anything that has an invoice for 2024 is going to be our recurring customers. There may be like a few $100s out there that like people just scheduled at the end of last week for January. But if I recall, everyone that has scheduled for January, I know there was a couple that are paying for the year up front. Yeah, I don't think I have any like one-times coming up in January. So, I mean, this would be your number right here in terms of recurring revenue. Let me see. How much of your total revenue is recurring? Oh, but that's for next year though. For this year, that would be the number 9293. So out of the 157,000 in revenue, only about 9293 came from recurring revenue for that we had like compounded coming into this year. If that makes sense. And then we added an additional 25 because you split that difference. The 118 going into next year versus 92, 93 last year. Talking $26,000 of recurring revenue added year over year, if that makes sense. Hopefully that kind of answers that question. What is your revenue goal for 2024? Drum roll. No, I'm just playing. What is your revenue goal for 2024? I'm glad you asked. So, based on, based on me not being God, right, and not knowing anything that's going to unfold in 2024, praying for good health, of course, praying that, no big financial loss happens that, we just can't control, just going based off of what one could expect, right? Based on if we're able to continue to invest between bare minimum $1,000 to $4,000 per month in advertising. It's going to be tough these next couple months because, just slower months, right? Trying to budget everything. We got tax season in April, this and that. It's expensive, right? From December through March, April in general, right? But if we can continue to invest at least $1,000 to $4,000 per month in advertising like we did towards the end of November all the way through December, then, our goal in terms of overall revenue for 2024, not factoring in sales tax, let's see, we're 118. Yeah, our revenue growth in terms of what we expect is definitely over 200,000. And I think that is being very, very, very conservative. That's like more so the conservative number is 200,000. And then my, what I call, MFCEO goal, where, I'm going balls to the walls every day of the year. Nothing comes up financially, health-wise, kind of the perfect year, right? I'm just full on MFCEO for all of 2024, 300 burger at that point, or more. I don't want to cap it. That's one thing I firmly believe in. The power of psychology, what you say to yourself, manifestation, all that type of stuff. So I want to be very careful with when I say my upper number, because I don't want to cap us either. So, 200 to 300,000 at the minimum is what I am shooting for. Like I said, we haven't had a full year yet where we have been able to invest $1,000 to $4,000 or more per month into Google Ads specifically. You guys know that I love Google Ads, PPC campaigns. I think that's going to be the biggest game changer for us, with us kind of being in a rougher economy. I can tell based on the PPC bidding that's going on right now. A lot of keywords are down huge on price right now. Some are down over 50% year over year. which gives us smaller guys, more of that pie to go ahead and scoop up a lot of the market that we wouldn't be able to. Because every time we get in an economic contraction of any kind, these big companies always pull back on advertising. I don't know why they do it every year, or not every year, but every economic downturn, but it's just been a historic fact that big companies always take a lot of their chips off the table, just to kind of weather the storm out, essentially. Which is where a lot of big companies are made. Look at, just look at all the big companies that were made during, hard times. You could go back even towards the Great Depression days, when companies like Ford and all that were started. You can look towards most recently when like Google and Apple and, I think even Nike, if I recall, was starting during a recession. All these big companies, they take advantage of a lot of the big players just kind of sitting on their cash and not doing nothing. Let's see. I price my mice, not my company. Oh, okay. 225, 275, and then 775 a month, but this also covers broad spectrum of insects as well. Yeah, and I'm assuming that's probably kind of like a maintenance plan as well, because I know like for us, when we get a call for rats specifically, rats or mice, like some type of rodent issue, we usually have to do a follow-up after about a week, because you're going to start catching stuff, right, in the attics and all that type of stuff. But yeah, that sounds about right for like a general maintenance plan. What was your overall 2023 annual recurring cancellation numbers and total number of new accounts for 2023? That's actually a good question as well. I hadn't really gotten into that a whole lot. Let me see. I think there was something down here about new customers. So this just kind of gives us a breakdown of like where our customers came from month to month. I wanted to see, a total. Let me see. Reports. Would it be new customers? Oh, okay. So they don't, unfortunately, give you like a total, I believe. Let's see, you could do... Yeah, there's no way to really, let's see, 16, 19, and these are for active customers as well, or no, these are not just recurring. I don't know if you asked that. Let's see. So these are new accounts. Not every single one is going to be recurring accounts, if that makes sense. So 35, 66, 90, 109, 19 3 months in a row is wild. I was at 109 right here, right? What would that be? 128, 146, 162, 167, 177, 180, 186 so far in terms of new customers added. I will say in terms of cancels, that is one thing Gorilla Desk has got to get better at. Is having a way for us to track like customers that have canceled their services. Because as of now, the only thing that you can really do is go into customers without a service. And of course, I have it to where it's not going to show names or anything right now. But there's not really a good way to filter. All you can do is active versus deleted. I guess you could start, I might start doing that as a matter of fact. You could like go in and tag them as, canceled 2023. That might be one way I'll have to do it. But I feel like they need to make it, what's the word I'm looking for? Easier to track. Like I shouldn't have to tag a customer when they cancel as, cancel 2023 or cancel 2022. Like for me to track, or even because like a lot of us want to track the cancel rate month to month even, right? So what do? Then you create tags for, canceled December 2023, December 2022. Like, I just feel like it's a lot of work that you have to do in Gorilla. That this is one thing that I think they can definitely improve at, is making it easier to track your cancel rate. However, I can tell you that we did not receive hardly any cancels this year until the last month or two. I can tell that people are starting to really, really, really feel the economic pain. As a matter of fact, I literally had a customer reach out to me this morning. She's been a great customer. Hasn't given me any issues at all. Just had to update her card like once or twice, just standard stuff, right? And she reached out to me. She's been a customer for about a year or two now, and she told me, hey, unfortunately, I'm looking at my budget, going into next year. I'm having to cut back on some things, and for now, I'm going to have to pause service. Like, I don't want to cancel, but, like, I need to pause at least for now. And I was like, no, I understand. And I looked at her account and realized that I hadn't gotten my charge from when we had to update her card. We charged her this month, but not for last month. So I told her, it was like $37. And she was like, oh, can you charge me on January 8th or something like that for this, because I literally have no money in my account right now. And I was just like, man, I felt bad. I almost felt like just saying, I'm just going to forgive it. It's not your fault that it didn't charge. I'm probably going to do that for her, to be honest, because, for me, it's $37. I'll write it off as a loss and move on. It's not a big deal. People are feeling pain out here right now, but that's a different subject for a different day. Sad reality is a business at the end of the day. But my whole point is overall this year hasn't been a horrible year. We get such few amount of cancels that whenever I do get a cancel, I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of mad about it. I'm like, man, I got to get an extra sale to make up for that. I would say if I were to put an average on it, less than a cancel a month. This month has been an anomaly. We've had 2 this whole month. November we had 2 or 3 as well. But I would say overall for the year, like I said, probably less than 1 a month. We've had maybe 10 cancels all year. It's been a very, and that's the other thing too. I focus more so on cancel percentage right now than actual number of customers that canceled, because when you think about a route that has, right around 200 customers on it, right? Say I get 10 customers, or let's say I'm within it and it's 15. Say I lost 15 customers in a year on a route that's around 190 customers. That's a 7.89% cancel rate. If it is 10, like I said, which I know for a fact it's right at 10, but let's say it is 10, that'd be a cancel rate of around 5.2%. In my opinion, if you can keep your cancel rate, regardless of the size of your company, if you can keep that below 10% a year, you're going to be doing just fine. I think where companies start getting in trouble is when they're okay with the fact that, they're losing more than, say, 1.5% to 2% month over month. I see, my previous employer, Terminex, they wanted your cancel rate to ideally be at 2.5%. Was their exact number. 2.5%. Imagine losing 2.5% of your route every single month. If you weren't advertising, if you weren't door knocking, if you weren't doing all this stuff to get new customers, you'd be out of business in, let's see, what's the math on that? We'll just call it 2% times 12 months. You'd be out of business in 4 years. Probably before that, because that's just when you would lose your last customer. But you'd be out of business so quick. I don't know how some of those bigger companies do it, to be honest. Let's see. But hopefully that kind of answers that question. Thanks for the tips. I think you said once that you don't offer bedbug heat treatments. How do you price your bedbug treatments? So yeah, we do chemical, and we just kind of price it based on a couple things: square footage of the home, how many bedrooms are, and a lot of times I won't even say bedrooms, I'll say living spaces, because it's not just bedrooms that we're treating, obviously. Like, we're treating pretty much the whole house to a certain degree. And a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times, like, we're treating the whole home, right? So I want to know, how many living spaces are, including the living rooms, kitchens. Like, I just want to know every place that somebody is going to be sitting, where there could be fabric, I treat it very similar to fleas, in all honesty. And that's how I kind of price it. Usually the square footage alone can give me a pretty good idea of what I need to price at. And pretty much the bed bug pricing starts at bare minimum $495 for the chemical treatment, which is obviously way, way, way cheaper than doing, heat treatment. But my average bed bug treatment, a home that's between 1,500 to 2,500 square feet, my average is the key word, is usually going to be somewhere around $1,200. That's for like a full-on bed bug treatment. That's not just like one isolated room or anything like that. That's for just, doing like the full 9 yards, if that makes sense. I don't, believe it or not, we don't really do that many bed bugs. I'm trying to remember if we've even did one this year. As a matter of fact, we may have done one or two, but we do not really get that many bed bug treatments. I had quite a few in 21. 22 I had some, a couple, but it seems like they've been really on the decline down here. Or who knows, maybe we're not showing up for bedbug SEO as much or something. I might want to look into that, see where we're... You know what, I'm going to run that in the background while we are waiting. I'm going to run a local Falcon search on, where are we at for bed. Oh man, I'm having a total brain fart. One word or two word? Bed bug or bed bug. I feel like it's two words if I remember right. Yeah, it's two words. Yeah. Right? Yeah, I'm just going to do it as two words. I'm pretty sure it's two words. Bed bug treatment. Or not even treatment. I'm just going to say bed bug service. We're going to run that real quick. And while that's running, come on. Come on. We're just trying to run this report in the background real quick because we're just talking about bed bug numbers and stuff like that. Let's see, where were we at? But yeah, that's how we go about pricing that. When in your journey did you start Google Ads? So, believe it or not, pretty much my very first day, I launched a Google ad. Oddly enough, I got my first customer even off of a Google ad by a freak accident. I mean, it's just beginner's luck, to be completely honest. But in terms of doing it more than just a couple days, using the right type of strategy, including ad budget, we're running around $100 a day right now when our ad is running now. That literally, I would say, okay, so I'm going to answer it in two parts. I'm going to answer your original question and then tell you how we've evolved with using Google Ads the right way recently. So like I said, we first started like day one, got a sell off of it, but then, being a noob, I was like, man, I'm spending like $20 a day and I'm not getting any leads. Like, this must be BS, right? And then I stopped doing it after like a week. I'd spend like $100 and didn't get nothing else. So I thought, this is BS, right? And just didn't touch it again for a while. And Google Local Services, took off for us. And then the last roughly year, probably late last year and then early this spring, we ran some campaigns, ran them around $50 to even $75 a day. And, surprise, surprise, the more money you spend, the more leads you're going to get. But also, doing the keyword research and all that type of stuff helped. And I feel like I got something stuck in my gum, but I don't. And then, this past month or so, we've really started getting into, I can even show you guys that real quick. Come on. Freaking mouse is killing me tonight. While that's loading up, our local Falcon just hit. Okay. So for bedbug treatment, we're really not ranking that well, to be honest. So that may be a point of emphasis that we want to... before I say that, because as you guys know, who've been tuning in for a while, I've noticed that the Google local pack rankings have been all over the place, which I can report to you guys officially that your business hours 100% affect your rankings now. When you are closed, your rankings are going to suck. When you're open, your rankings are going to be better. Now, it's not to say that you should just be listed 24/7 all the time or anything like that. Like, obviously, if you can't answer the phone, you don't have anyone that can answer the phone, don't put it as open, right? Unless, of course, you're like us, where you have a lead generating website where people can go on there, submit a form, and understand that, someone's probably not going to call me at 2 a.m., right? So us, during the week, I think 7 days a week now, 6-7 days a week, we have ours set at 24/7. But on holidays, stuff like that, we have it put on there as close. So I'm trying, like I said, this Google ad has been paused for about a week now because I was off for the holidays. Wait, was it? Oh no, that's the 20th. I was like, was it running today? Because it says enabled up here, but it's not enabled. I mean, we could look at today, and you'll be able to tell that obviously it wasn't running today. We started it sometime in November, so I'll do that. So, let's see. Oops, I must have did October on accident. Sometime in November. So, let's see. And I don't care about the impressions. I want conversions. Because conversions, of course, are like, lead form submissions and all that stuff. Let's see. 30 clicks, 12 conversions, which is pretty damn good. I want to see cost per conversion. There we go. $54 per conversion. So not bad. But like I said, we've really gotten this thing dialed in. And as you can see, we're running it at about $100 per day. Which what I like about Google doing that is they'll even show you on there you're not going to be charged more than $2,829.14 per month, or in December for this, in this case. It'll change based on days of the month, days in a month, that is. But you'll have somewhat an idea so you can actually go in there, put that in your business budget. That way you know what to expect. I feel like I'm getting behind on these comments. Oops. Let's see. How long did it take for you to start getting leads? Once ad was running. So once the ad was up and running, this is where your ad budget's really going to come in hand too. So think about it. Which I did a video on this about like the true cost of running Google ads or something like that. Because look at ours, for example. We're paying about $54 per conversion, which for us a conversion is either the customer calling us or the customer submitting a form. It's not, the customer landing on the landing page. It's not, I don't even know what other conversions there would be. But, it's strictly a lead, right? And we're paying around $54 per, hit the microphone there, $54 per lead, if that makes sense. So with that, you have to consider, okay, let's say that my average cost per lead is going to be $50 to even $100. Well, if you're wanting at least one lead per day, then you better be running your campaign at $50 to $100 per day, right? That's where, again, you got to kind of work backwards that math in terms of, if you're only going to run your campaign on a super small budget, $20, right? But an average lead is going to cost you $50, $60, just based on my example here, which, again, everybody's area is going to be different. There's a lot of variables that go into this. I've heard some as low as in the 20s and 30s. I've heard some in the not hundreds, but around 100 or so for a conversion. So, it's going to depend based on your market, but also your budget. So, obviously, the higher your budget, you could start seeing leads literally within a couple days. If your budget's really limited, it may take a week or two, which is actually what I told everybody. I was looking at a video I posted about a year ago, like 9 to 12 months ago, where I was telling people that, you shouldn't expect much results your first week or two with a Google ad. And that was based on, again, my experience where I was only running Google campaigns at $25 to $75 a day. Now that I'm running it for $100, sometimes even more per day, obviously that really, assuming you're doing everything you need to, tracking your keywords, adding negative keywords, all that type of stuff pretty frequently, you could be looking at a few days at the most before you start seeing your results. So hopefully that answers that question. How do you get over the nervous, scared feeling of starting your own company? I've been wanting to for years now, just worried about everything. You got to just face those fears. I know it's going to sound kind of cliche probably, but you got to just kind of face those fears. I did have the blessing of literally being fired. I was 3 or 4 days from, going in to take my test to become a certified applicator. Lost my job. So at that point, it was like, I better pass these tests, right? Because I knew, I was like, I can't go back to another company. I was at that point where I was like, this is a sign. Like, I cannot go back to another company. I got to pass these tests. And, ideally, you don't get to that point because I was super stressed out. Definitely got some white hairs now, my beard and my hair for all that now. But, you got to just face, you got to look at those fears in the face and tell them that, they don't mean nothing at the end of the day. Like, at the end of the day, you just need to think about it from the standpoint of what's going to happen if I fail, right? What's the worst thing that can happen? Can I die? No. Okay, then who cares about everything else? Now, I'm not saying, because I don't know your situation, like, obviously you don't want to put your family in harm's way, but at the end of the day, as long as you're not going to die, your loved ones aren't going to die, you'll survive anything else. That's as real as I can be about it at the end of the day. Like, go look on Indeed right now. How many jobs are Indeed right now? That's the worst case scenario. You fail, you go back to a job, right? And by the way, you start your business, say you are able to own a business for 1 to 2 years even before it fails, you're gonna be able to put that on your resume, and there's gonna be a lot of people that want to hire you because you have owned and managed a business. They're not gonna care so much that it failed. They're gonna care about what did you learn, running a business. You're gonna have a lot of management jobs open up that probably wouldn't have otherwise if you didn't start a business. So, the potential upside is 1,000 to 1 in terms of the negatives. I ultimately always look at everything, even today, being 3+ years in now, crazy saying that, in my business, I still look at everything that I do from the standpoint of, if I were to be on my deathbed tomorrow, would I have a bunch of regret, or would I have a bunch of sure, I'm going out, but at least I did this, at least I did that, at least I tried that, hopefully that kind of makes sense. And somebody who turned me on to that idea, I think it was Gary Vaynerchuk, actually, like 5-6 years ago. I saw a video of his where he was saying that everybody who is on the fence of starting a business should go volunteer at a what are they called, not necessarily like a retirement home, but like one of those like home medical facilities for like older people that are, slowly but surely dying, and just talk to them, like figure out, what do they think about the most. A lot of time you'll see they think about things that they regret. Like they regret that they didn't try this, they regret that they didn't do this, they regret that they didn't have this conversation with somebody. Like it's always a bunch of the regrets, and it's like, I don't want to live. I mean, obviously we're all going to have regrets and things like that, but like the more I can minimize that, I know the happier my life's going to be at the end of the day. And the happier I am, obviously the happier people around you are going to be too. Did you ever use door hangers? Yeah, not enough to really, give a good opinion on it. But I did gain a whopping one customer off of it. But like I said, from what I understand, the test size, kind of like with ads, test size is everything. Obviously, somebody that's ran 10,000 door hangers is going to have a very different experience than somebody that only passed out a few hundred, right? Which was me. I passed out a few hundred of mine. I got a customer out of it, who was a customer for about a year or so. So, I mean, it at least paid for itself, but, I'd be more interested in, what's it called, EDM. I haven't done it yet, but that's where, of course, you create like a postcard or something and have it sent out to like different neighborhoods, parts of town, that kind of thing. What's going on, Miss Salvador? Damn, this mouse is just getting on my nerves today. What's going on, Salvador? How's it going? Good, thanks. Bit worn out, full day of meetings. Ooh, gotta love that. Also started filming an employee recruitment video. That's dope. Beer's helping. Employment seems fun. Also, Griffin, you are located in the same place some of my family is. I told them if they have any pest issues, they should give you a call. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're located in like east, northeast Dallas area, over here in the Rockwall, Rowlett, Texas area. Let's see. We got most of our filming done. Just have another few interviews, and we'll start editing. Yeah, you're going to get to see what I do just about every day for you guys over here on YouTube, Salvador. It's fun, though. I like doing some. I don't like doing some of the video editing. Like, some of it's just kind of over the top, in my opinion. But a lot of it is actually kind of fun to me. It's kind of like a little game. Culture is very important. Exactly. What do you think your workload would be if you spent $6,000 a month on Google Ads? And do you think paying Q5%? Were you trying to hit the 1, I'm guessing? Because 1 and Q are pretty close on the keyboard. So I'm assuming you're saying 15%. To a marketing agency fee is worth it. Oh yeah, duh. You put the 1.5 down there. 15%. Let me run the math real quick on this for you. So 6,000 times 0.15. I mean, that's only $900. Like, I don't know. Well, let me see. To be determined. I'm trying to run some math for you real quick based on my numbers. So that'd leave you with $5,100 divided by. What? That math ain't adding up. Yeah, I guess it is. Because that would put you around 90 to 92 conversions roughly, just based on my numbers right now, which of course this is still a somewhat small sample size, of course. So around 90 conversions, if you convert 10% of those, or no, not 10%, if you convert about 40% of those, it's 37. We'll just do a contract. I don't know your pricing for your services, but I'll do a contract value of $500 a year. That'd be at $18,500. Spending 6 total. That's not bad, in all honesty. I will say for $900. Here, let me do this for you. Oops. My goodness. Check out our website and feel free to email me. I'm just going to pin it for you so it's there. And feel free to email me. I want to see what they're trying to do, supposedly do for you. I don't want you like calling them out or anything on the chat. That's why I figured you could like email me and I could look into them for you maybe. And give you like my honest opinion. Because so 15, I'm just making sure that I am understanding it right. $6,000 on Google Ads, and you think paying 15%. So I'm assuming then 15%, that's $900, right? Yeah, that'd be $900. Because depending on what they're telling you, you guys know I don't like try to sell services to anybody or anything like that. But if you're going to be paying someone like almost $1,000 a month, I want to make sure, one, that you're going to get your money's worth, but two, if I feel like I could save you some money, I'll definitely do so. Let's see. Culture is important. Give us your best pitch for anything if you want. You talking to me, Sesvo? Or Sev? Man, I always feel like I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Give us your best pitch for anything if you want. You talking about like just give you kind of the best sales pitch like for general pest control, that kind of thing? They live in Rolette. Oh, yeah. I'm in the Waterview neighborhood at the moment. I'm probably getting ready to move in, April or May. I forget when our lease would be up here. Yeah, I'll have to, or not have to. We're going to be moving probably a little bit further either east or northeast. We haven't decided yet, but still overall in the area, and I plan on at that point opening an office probably in the Richardson, Texas area is kind of where my bullseye is. I'll give you kind of an idea once we get up here to the local Falcon grid. So so we are definitely just ranking bad for the search term bedbug treatment, because look at the difference here with this grid here. This grid here is beautiful. Doesn't look like a Christmas tree. It looks like mostly green. This is for, of course, just pest control service, I believe, was the search term we used. And like I said, guys, your hours now 100% affect your ranking. And in terms of where we're kind of aiming for an office location, we're aiming for somewhere right along here, ideally. Actually, not even down towards here. More so kind of like a little bit here, right up here, somewhere right up in this area of like North Richardson, Central South Plano, maybe even just to the west of Interstate 75, just somewhere in this area, ideally. And then we're going to be moving further out, probably towards like Roy City, Josephine, Lavon, Nevada, somewhere in this area. So obviously I don't want my business location being in an area that still has, as you can see with all the green, a lot of development still to go before it's worth having a business location out there. I mean, even where we're at, in all honesty, with that freaking lake swallowing up so much of our potential space, there's still a lot of green out in here. Like, for us to be getting as much call volume and lead volume as we get organically is surprising, to say the least. Let's see. Kevin says, will do. More than open to book a pay pick your brain. Oh yeah, no, I appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, like I said, if you just want to email back and forth early on or whatever, I mean, we could do the consult too, whichever you want to do. Just let me know. You said we're a company in Charlotte. Oh yeah, you're in a great market. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I heard that area is booming. Very similar to the Dallas, Texas area. I mean, Dallas is obviously like on its own, just steroid. I always tell people it's a state within a state anymore. But I heard that area is booming with people too. No, Maggie Cow, K-Cow. No, that's not going to change my service area. It's just a little birdie kind of gave me some insight that I don't think he was supposed to. Some SEO guy who was trying to like sell me on his service didn't really do the most research on where we were located, I guess, because he accidentally gave me some pretty good intel on one of my key competitors who happened to be right down in this area. Trying to find it off the top of my head. It's somewhere right around this Arapahoe area. Somewhere in this area right in here. And, man, pretty much showed me a screenshot of their Google Business Profile analytics. And they had like 100 calls, like 100 to 200 calls. Now, again, this was like spring, summer months, so prime season, right? But I'm like, dude, 100 to 200 calls? Are you kidding me? I'm like, and I know they're not doing SEO in terms of local SEO like we do local SEO. So I was like, you take all my ones and twos and slide them over here to a more populated area. I mean, we already service this area. We go from, this Flower Mound, Louisville area at the furthest. I don't really like going out here, but I will. We go from out here, kind of zoom out a little bit so you'll have an idea. We go from out here, which is about 30 miles or so to the west of us, 35 miles west, maybe even 40. I'd have to look it up to be exact. But we'll go all the way out here, and then to the north, we'll go right up along 380. We don't go past like Little Elm, really, Little Elm and Frisco. But we'll come up pretty much right along here, like 121, Dallas North Tollway, 380. And then we'll come all the way through Princeton, Farmersville. And then we kind of cut down through Josephine. We come out to Cotto Mills, and then 30. And then we pretty much kind of ride along 30 to Union Valley. We've got like one or two customers right out here in Union Valley. As you can see, a lot of land that's going to be swallowed up by developers and developing very, very, very soon. A lot of it is already underway, in all honesty, especially in Roy City, Cotto Mills, Joseph. Like this all right here is being just swallowed up by developers right now. But yeah, we service kind of all this here. We don't really go to the south too much. If y'all know anything about Dallas, you probably know why. But we'll pretty much ride right along Interstate 30, essentially, and up through Highland Park and all that as well. Straight north. Pretty big service area, to be honest. I forget the exact number that Google showed us, but I want to say, it's definitely in the millions in terms of potential service area. I want to say handful of million people. Let's see. But yeah, and that, like I said, that's not going to change because as you can see, if our office is somewhere right in here, it's actually more ideal for us because it's kind of smack dab in the center of our service area at that point. So that's something that I'm also taking into consideration is like I don't want to push it too far west, don't want to push it too far north, east, that kind of thing. In all honesty, I'm kind of right on the border of the furthest east that I would want to go in terms of our business location, and I feel like ideally we can shift to the west about 3 to 5 miles, and that will be perfect for us. 60,000 people moving here a year. Yeah, no, that is not bad for a city like Charlotte. That's a pretty big jump per year. There's towns that don't even have 60,000 people. Let's see. Yes. Yes, I want your sales pitch. Tried to send that a few minutes ago. Yeah, I was curious how far you went. Yeah, but I mean, I don't have like a quote unquote sales pitch. I mean, I can give you guys like just our pretty much, this is our standard, like what we do. It's so easy that, I even have my wife do it. Someone calls in, they're needing pretty much what everybody's needing, just kind of like general pest control. There's a couple ways that we can go about it from there. We can either A, just sell them what they called for, take the easy sell, worry about upselling them later on down that customer, journey, right? We're always looking to look for opportunities to, sell termite prevention, this and that. You can go that route, or you can go the route of, hey, we got a deal going on right now. If you take advantage of this, you could save hundreds of dollars a year. There's a couple ways you can go about doing it. I'll do both, but we'll start with the easier, straightforward one. First example, they call in, they've got ants or spiders, something like that. You'd answer the phone, of course, your usual, how can we help you? They let you know what's going on. From there, we ask, what's the square footage of the home and what zip code do you live in? Because obviously that matters with such a big service area, so we can figure out how soon we can get out there. And then, of course, we know roughly what the price is going to be with that square footage right from the get-go. So after that, they let us know, we're in the 75074 area code, East Plano, right? Okay, and your square footage is about 2,500 square feet. Okay, 2,500 square feet, not a problem. So there's a couple ways you can go about doing this, Mrs. Jones. You could, go ahead and just pay once, when we come out. You just pay one time and you're going to get a full year of coverage. With that full year of coverage, if you were to see any pest issues in your home within that 1 year, you just give us a call. We won't charge you anything to come back. We'll come back for free. And by the way, we're going to come back every 90 days regardless, just to keep up on your exterior perimeter, because that chemical is going to wear off after about 90 days. So every 90 days we're going to come out. So that means we're going to be out at your home about 4 times a year. And, your total for today, I'm adding it up because I done forgot off the top of my head. Your total for today, Mrs. Jones, if you decided you wanted to go ahead and pay for the full year, normally that would come out to about $549 plus tax. But just for you, today, we can go ahead and get that set up for about $525. And just to give you an idea, Mrs. Jones, like I said, you're already saving that $25, but you could go with our second option if you wish, our pay-as-you-go option. That would usually cost $149 plus tax to get started. Then you're going to be paying $49 plus tax a month going forward. So over 11 months plus your $149, Mrs. Jones, that's normally $689 plus tax for the year, but I'm giving it to you right now for $525 plus tax. When would you like to go ahead and have us come out and get that taken care of for you? Pretty straightforward. Now, sometimes the wording's a little bit different. Sometimes I won't even bring up the fact that, they can do the pay-as-you-go. Most of the time we won't, in all honesty. We just gear them towards that one-time payment and they're done with it. We're already kind of nurturing them with the fact that, hey, it's normally around $549, but we're going to go ahead and knock off $25 for you today because, you're our first customer of the day. Make them feel good, something like that. And then from there, because, it's over $500 still. It's a good little chunk of change, right? 50% of people will be like, well, do you have something where we can pay per service, something like that? Avoid the question about one-time services as much as possible, of course, if possible. But let's say they ask, do you have something which is the most common, like I said, do you have something where you can pay per service? I'd be like, we have something very similar to that, Mrs. Jones. I'm glad you asked that because we do have an option where, if you'd rather pay as you go, we have a monthly subscription model where instead of making you pay each service, because we understand, it's a good little chunk of change. You're talking about $150 roughly each time we come out. Instead, we can go ahead and just charge you $149 plus tax to get started, and then we're just going to get a debit card or credit card on file for you, and we're going to just charge $49 per month going forward. You're still going to get that same yearly coverage with us as long as you're a customer. You're not going to be charged for any callbacks or anything like that, and it just makes your monthly budget that much easier versus having to plan for 4 random charges throughout the year. Does that sound good to you? And then, usually most of the time you get them on that monthly plan from there. But how I'll tell them too is I'll try to kind of stay ahead of anything. I'll tell them, and by the way, if you're wondering what the cost difference is between those two plans, this is where you'd bring up, this comes out to about $689 for your first year. It goes down after that because you don't have your $149 initial going forward. But your first year, if you pay for the full year up front, you're going to be saving over $160 your first year. So you're pretty much getting your first service for free if you go that route. That's how you can kind of circle, kind of reel them back in on, because we definitely want to push for paying for the year. That way, you can avoid altogether the whole, worrying about your cancel rate, right? Like, you don't have to worry about them canceling for a full year at that point. I mean, now, of course, there's those one-off situations where, they may need to move unexpectedly or something like that, and you got to, do a partial refund. I never have, but, I'm sure it'll come up, right? It happens. Life happens, right? Or whatever crazy reason, they may just be super, super, super dissatisfied with you for some crazy reason. Again, shouldn't happen, but it happens, right? Again, hasn't happened for me, but say it does happen, you just give a partial refund of whatever amount that you want to partially refund, and then that's that. But like I said, I've yet to have had any of these customers cancel, and I haven't had any so far when it comes to the yearly renewal cancel going that route as well. So that's kind of how that generally goes. When do you recommend starting? As soon as possible. Doesn't really matter if it's busy or non-busy, because all of your SEO and everything is going to take 6 to 12 months for anything like this to start happening. Man, please work. My goodness. This thing here is on one today. It's going to take... What just happened? My goodness. This thing is all over the place right now. Yeah, look at our average rank difference. Bedbug service 6 for average rank point. Pest control service 2.5. 4-point difference right there. But like I said, it's going to take 6 to 12 months for any of your SEO stuff to start working at all, for you to really start noticing any type of traction within that. So, and being consistent on it too, trying to get the reviews every week, just constantly push. Now, obviously with Google Ads and all that type of stuff, you can start getting customers with, like we said, within days to weeks. But in my opinion, just starting as soon as possible. There's not a wrong time to start. People think too much about it. Like, even me, when I was first starting my business in November, I was like, fuck, this is horrible. This is the worst time of the year to start. Not really, because we had a lot of rodent calls coming in. There's always something going on in this industry. That's the beauty of this industry is, sure, October, November, December, bugs start dropping off for the most part, but guess what starts popping up? Rodents and wildlife. So, there's always, and then the beauty is that perfect time right around March, at least down here in Texas, right around late February, March, April, sometimes even May, where it's just a little bit of everything. We got some termite swarmers, we got ants, we got roaches, we got squirrels, having babies, we got rats still, that perfect, that's why historically, March, April are our biggest months of the year, just because we have a perfect little pattern of just everything. That's why this March and April I plan on going balls to the walls with Google Ads, because I plan on having so many different ad copies out there. There ain't gonna be no room for Terminix and all of them by the time I get done with all my different ads that I'm gonna have running. But yeah, back to your question, there's really not a best time. It's just what is, in terms of the season, that is. It's just what is the best time for you. What's your finances like? What's your, at some point you just got to pull that trigger, right? And you know when that time's going to be. Let's see. What vehicle do you kind of recommend if I want to start a business? I know you have problems with your Colorado. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, ever since I had that transmission issue, the Colorado hasn't been giving me really any issue. I had to change the battery out, which was a freaking nightmare to do. They put like a whole freaking computer on top of the battery now, which is just stupid. But haven't had any issues with it since then, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, a Nissan Frontier, I have one of those right now. It hasn't given me a single issue right now. It's at like 76,000 miles, and it's been doing pretty good. Why do you prefer them to pay all up front versus monthly? You answered the question above. Yeah. I mean, either or. I like either or. The only one I don't like is pay per service in terms of like, they're paying quarterly or they're paying bi-monthly or whenever the service frequency is. I either want to be paid for the year up front or I want to be paid month to month. Month to month is great for, adding to your monthly cash flow. But then again, yearly adds to your monthly cash flow. Once you get about a year or so into your business, you start reaping what you sowed with the previous year, and then it just keeps compounding from there, right? For example, when we go back to our sales forecast, let's see. Let's go over here, sales forecast. When we look at our sales forecast, just look at these bottom numbers here. This is showing for 2023. So here, actually, you know what? Let's go. Oh, I can't go to 22. That is so dumb. Why would they take away the previous year? Okay, I found something else Gorilla Desk needs to, change. But, okay, we can compare 23 to 24 at least. So as you can see, actually this still kind of sucks because you're seeing the numbers after the fact. After I've already sold stuff. Let me just pull up 2024, I guess. So, I mean, I guess you can kind of tell from January. So, January for 2024, before even selling anything going into next month, is at $8,852, right? If we look at January of 2023, which, by the way, like we were just talking about, we already sold all of that work for January on top of that. It is still less than what going into January 2024 is going to be. Why? Because we have that monthly income. We have that yearly income that we have stacked up, all throughout the year of 2023. And we're now got, the compound effect at the end of the day. We all know, if you know anything about business and investing, you know about the compound effect. Just look at, like April, $12,000 already. August, 12, September, 11, October, 11. Like, when you compare this to going into 23 and definitely going into 22, I mean, these numbers were stupid low. So, there's definitely reasons for that. And then, of course, you have the cancellation factor, where who is more likely to cancel? Someone who is paying once a year and then never thinking about it again for a full year, or someone who has to just kind of out of the blue one day, oh man, my pest guy's coming, I'm gonna owe him like $200 or $100 or however much money it is. Or the guy who, okay, maybe he's not paying once per year and forgetting about it, but he has it where it's easy to remember, oh yeah, on the 15th he's going to charge me $35 or $100 or $200 or $50, like whatever their amount is. Like, in terms of who's most likely to cancel versus who's least likely, who's most likely? The guy that's not expecting it. Number two, guy who, is expecting it, but, if life happens, you're gone. And then the guy who's least likely to cancel is the guy or girl, who is paying you once per year, and that's that, right? And again, this is from like my actual experience too. It's also kind of funny. One of my main competitors up here is Preferred Pest Control. That's funny. Yeah, mine's Preferred Pest Management. That's hilarious. And where do you, I forget, are you the one that's in, no, you're not the one that's in Charlotte. Yeah, where are you located, actually? Maggie K-Cow, or hope I'm pronouncing that right. I gotta wait about a year still. I don't meet the requirement for applicator license tests in my state quite yet. I know how that goes. Yeah, just keep studying, keep watching all. I mean, you're doing exactly, stuff that I was doing whenever I was looking to start my business. If anything, you're doing more than what I was even doing, to be honest. I wasn't really watching like pest control business content. I was watching business content in general, like business, investing, entrepreneurship, discipline, like Jocko Willink and what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name now. I think he's like an ex-Marine or something. David Goggins, David Goggins, Andy Frisella, Grant Cardone, watching all that stuff, but I never really I couldn't really find a lot of pest control business content either, which is why I decided, once I saw after that first video that now has over 8,000 views on it, I was like, oh wow, there are people that, are hungry for this knowledge. I was like, let's niche down and give people what they want. Just document, just like my channel's always been, just kind of documenting my overall entrepreneurial journey in general. But yeah, no, just keep doing what you're doing. Definitely study for that test. Cannot stress that enough. Don't want to have to take that thing again like I did. Yeah, I don't like paying per service or one times. I'm guessing by or one times you mean like just a one-time service, maybe? I'll finish the rest of my questions I had in mind. What are the main jobs you service in your first 3 to 6 months? And lastly, did you write up your own agreements? No, I'll actually show you guys kind of what the default, so to speak, ones on Grill Desk look like here in just a second, which is a good question. And then also, let's see, what are the main jobs you service in your first 3 to 6 months? So, obviously, the quarterly services, like monthly, quarterly, that type of thing. German roach jobs, when I first started my business, were another thing that like I got a lot of, surprisingly. And then some random like rodent jobs. I was getting a lot of rodent jobs, which of course comes with the territory of starting your business in the winter, right? That was definitely the first 3 to 6 months. And then once we hit around that, like right at 3 to 6 months, like right around that March, April and onward, that was when we started getting a lot more termite, a lot more mosquito, just a lot more everything, really. Oh my gosh, that totally leads me to your point earlier about our pitches. I only did our basic pitch. And hopefully, by the way, I haven't even like checked in on the stream in a while. Hopefully the stream quality is doing all right for you guys right now. I can't tell. It says it is. We got 5 of you tuning in right now, so we got like 5 likes too. If you haven't already liked, do me a favor, smash that like button. Haven't even asked y'all to do that or anything tonight. Look at me being a bad host. Yeah, feel free to like, share, all that good stuff, of course. Now, when we're trying to upsell, regardless if it's something basic, like instead of general pest, we're going with general pest and termite, or we're going with our preferred protection plan, which of course is our plan where it's general pest, mosquitoes, termites, rodent control, with the bait stations. Regardless of what it is we're trying to upsell, it all comes down to the packaging and letting them know how great of a deal this is. So whenever we do that, the main thing that you have to focus on, like we said, is the packaging and just explaining to them just how good of a deal this is. Make it seem so good that they almost feel dumb like that they're missing out. Not necessarily that they feel dumb, but like that they feel like they're missing out by not going with that deal. Almost like a lead magnet, right? So whenever you're selling it to them, and usually what we'll do is if we can tell that like they are pretty much closed, we just got to name a price to them. You can usually tell within like 30 seconds or so of being on the phone with them. And again, it just kind of comes with experience to call after call after call, hundreds of calls, right? We'll just start to steer the conversation towards, okay, yeah, no, I hear you, you're dealing with some ants or, whatever the case may be. Now, let me tell you, too, Mrs. Jones, we're heading into, and again, play whatever seat, like play on anything that you possibly can that makes sense, right? So say you're going into spring, you could tell them, okay, Mrs. Jones, like, I get everything you're saying, and I got a couple options for you here. And you can tell them, which one sounds best for you and your home at the end of the day. So I have this plan right now because we're heading into spring, and with spring, obviously down here in Texas, we got a ton of mosquitoes, ton of ticks, ton of, just everything. Termites are crazy, Mrs. Jones. I don't know if you know this, but the rule of thumb is about 1 in 4 to 1 in 5 homes down here have active termites in their home at any given moment, Mrs. Jones. Obviously, it's more so within that 1 in 4, 1 in 5 acres, but, pretty much same thing at the end of the day. So with that, every spring, Mrs. Jones, we run a sale on our Preferred Protection Plan. What the Preferred Protection Plan covers is everything that you need for your general pests that you need for your ants, your spiders, your roaches, pretty much what you called us for. But what it's also going to cover for you, Mrs. Jones, right now is it's going to cover the mosquitoes. It's going to cover your ticks. It's going to cover those termites. Make sure that, termites don't infest your home. It's going to cover rodents as well, because mice and rats are a big problem with all the construction going on right now in DFW too, Mrs. Jones. So we're going to cover you on all that stuff. Normally this service costs at least $795 to get started, and then an additional $195 per month, Mrs. Jones. But right now, with the promo that we got going on right now, we're able to get this started for as low as right around $395 plus tax just for you. And instead of it being $195 plus tax, we're able to get this going for $145 plus tax per month going forward. And we do offer even additional savings if you did decide that you want to pay for the year up front. But we understand that that starts to be quite a bit of money. So if you want more details on that, I'd be happy to go over them with you. But would you like to go ahead either way and get this set up? And then from there, most of the time, assuming they're going to go with that plan, they're just going to go with the monthly, from my experience, because the math, even on the deal, let's just do the math real quick. Yeah, even if you give them an absolute steal of a deal on that, which would be just $150 a month over 12 months, it's $1,800 plus tax for the year. So I'm trying to remember the last time I had somebody pay for the whole year up front on that plan. When I do, I'm like shocked. I'm kind of annoyed too, because I'm like, damn, I'm really giving that service away when they pay for the year up front. But what was I saying? Yeah, usually from there, they'll go ahead and go forward. They'll pay for, that $395, $495, whatever price you tell them up front, and then they're, $145, $125, $175. Every home is going to be different because of the square footage, how many termite bait stations are you going to use, all that type of stuff. And then sometimes, too, inevitably, it's going to revert back to, all that sounds great, but that does sound a little bit out of my price range, because, it's $145 or whatever price you tell them per month. It's a good little chunk of change every single month. How much would it cost just to cover, just the ants? And that's the other thing, too, is sometimes I will kind of, test it out, right? I'll see, is my closing rate on general pest control higher because I started out with this big ticket, going for everything? And a lot of times it is, because when you tell them, $145 a month, and you take them from a plan that's $145 a month all the way down to $45 to $55 a month, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's not bad at all. Like, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. You see what I did there? Normally, that 45, 55 is normally 35, 45. So not only is it easier to close them on that, but I can actually now raise the price, the value of our basic general plan because, of that kind of like sticker shock that you kind of gave them. Some people call it manipulation. I don't really care at the end of the day. It just, there's nothing like manipulating about it. We're just trying to give them everything that we sell, people need for their homes at the end of the day. We're not, insurance salesmen or anything like that, just selling a total scam product. Like we're selling, assuming you're, not just spraying fairy dust around their house or anything. We're selling services that they definitely need, especially the termite and all that stuff, specifically. So, like I said, it all comes down to packaging at the end of the day. Let's see. First time making it to a live stream. I'm in Iowa. Awesome. Just north of where I'm from. I'm from Missouri. Magical spit. Oh, okay. I get it. Magical. Yeah. That makes sense. And welcome, by the way. First stream. Shout out to you for making it. Do me a favor if you haven't already. Definitely make sure to subscribe. Let's see. Yes, I couldn't find anything. So glad you started making these videos. Definitely taking mental notes and creating a business plan. I want to literally start making everything now so it's ready. Yeah, you're gonna be doing well. And I mean, the good thing is too, like, since you did find the channel, not that like I am like the godfather of pest control business or anything like that, but since you did at least find my channel, and hopefully I'm noticing more and more that some pest control business owners are starting to do some similar, not necessarily the same thing that I do, but like some similar stuff, like posting some of their content, like things that they do. Or even I have found that sometimes I'll watch videos of guys that are in similar fields. Like I was watching an interview of a guy who owned a pool company and has sold multiple pool companies, who actually happen to own a pest control company as well. And learned a lot of information from that guy, a lot of softwares and this and that in this like 2-hour podcast he was on. But yeah, just absorb as much information as you can. Subscribe to as many channels as you can. Just absorb. Do what I do. If you have like YouTube Premium, download the videos where you get like the most content, the most knowledge from, where you feel like it's just almost like a knowledge overload. That way, not just that, but like save them into a playlist too. Like create a playlist just titled, pest control business or something like that, and put videos in there, like add them to your playlist. That way you can like go back to those as well. That's some things that I did too, because if you don't have like a public channel like mine, I'm pretty sure nobody can see your playlist anyways. And even if so, like me, I have private playlists as well that are like just for me. Most of them are public for you guys, but I do have some private ones as well. So, definitely take advantage of like the tools that are available, like on podcast, YouTube, all that type of stuff. But whatever you do, be careful with that. Be careful not to get, what they call it, like analysis of paralysis, or did I say it backwards? Paralysis of analysis, whatever. Y'all know what the hell I'm saying, right? Like, don't get so caught up in like knowledge that like you never do nothing to. It doesn't sound like you're going to be that type, but sometimes people can just get so obsessed with learning that they don't ever end up applying, if that makes sense. Kind of took your idea, I think. I'm going to do personalized pest plans, so each customer feels good, special. Exactly. And that's really where the preferred pest plan that I came up with came from, was, I had a lot of people who'd be like, okay, yeah, I want general pests, but I want termite too. And I was like, okay, yeah, we can do that. And I did the math and came up with their own plan. And then I had some that'd be, okay, I want general pests and I want rodent. I was like, okay, let me add up the math. And then I had one guy one day, he was like, how much would it cost just for everything? Like, I want everything. My wife doesn't want to see no bugs, no rodents. Like, she don't want to see nothing. I was like, okay, let me add this up. It might take a minute. Just give me a minute. And I was sitting there adding it up. And then on my way home, I was just like, damn. I was like, what if I could sell like 10 of these? Like, your business brain starts going. The calculator in your head starts going. And I was just like, imagine if I could sell 10 of these a month. And I was only selling, I just listed a random price. I was like, $99 a month. Like, I can do that for $99. He'd do it. I was like, holy shit, really? I was like, are you serious? Okay. And looking back on that, it's way too cheap. But, when you're first getting started, of course, you don't know what you don't know. And I was still, again, just running that math in my head. I was like, man, if I could sign up 10 people a month at $99, that's $1,000 a month of recurring revenue being added. And that's where, it all just kind of came together, and I came up with that preferred protection plan, which kind of goes tongue-in-cheek with the name of our company, of course, too. But, yeah, I mean, I have my plans, but then at the end of the day, it's all going to revert back to, what do you as the customer want at the end of the day? We got our preferred protection, we got preferred pest control package, we got preferred pest and termite, we got preferred pest and rodent. Like, we got something for everybody, ultimately. I got a podcast on Spotify I listen to. Yep, I was the same way. I still do listen to podcasts too. Some of them, a lot of them at this point are more so just like general business and entrepreneurship and discipline podcasts. That's one thing that I don't even talk about enough on this channel, in all honesty, is discipline. That's one thing that you will always be continuing to develop as a business owner. You'll want to listen to the guys that, man, they're rough. They're rough. Andy Frisillas, David Goggins, Jocko Willink, just to name a few. Like, they can be hard and rough on you, but man, I mean, what they say is true. Like, you fall in love with the discipline aspect, then you'll be amazed at just where your business and life goes as a whole. Because any time now I notice that my discipline is lacking, my life is in disarray, my business is in disarray. Like, just nothing really goes well. My anxiety's at like all-time highs. A lot of that, I mean, I feel like I do talk about it on the channel. I try not to really beat on it like a drum too hard, just because, like, I don't know, it's not necessarily like my space, I guess, if that makes sense. But definitely, if you did I do have a podcast, actually. It should be in my LinkTree, as a matter of fact. Let me double check here for you. Let me see. I don't even know where I would check that. Give me just a second. Should be right here, if I recall, if it'll load for me. I don't know why things are loading slow. Let's see. What is going on with this page right now? It is loading incredibly slow. Maybe if I free up some of this space. I'm pretty sure that'll... Okay, now just randomly... Alright, whatever. But yeah, where I was going with that is in my LinkTree down below should be a link. It'll take you to Spotify, so if you don't have Spotify, you'll have to like actually search it. But it's on every podcasting platform out there. Almost forgot the name of my own podcast for a second. It's called Real Life Entrepreneurship with Griffin Thomas. I'd be willing to bet even if you just type in Griffin Thomas, it may pop up. But it's the Real Life Entrepreneur, or not it's just Real Life Entrepreneurship with Griffin Thomas. Link for that is in my LinkTree as well. I haven't posted on there in a couple weeks. I'm trying. I was doing good for a minute. I try to post like one a week for you guys, but I've kind of slacked off on that a little bit. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take the audio from the YouTube videos and especially on these longer like streams and stuff, and I'll chop them up and put them on the podcast. But then there are quite a few podcast exclusives on there as well. And a lot of that is more so, how do I explain? Like more so like just straight up business versus just like pest control business, if that makes sense. So no, we do have a podcast trying to be more, let me see, as a matter of fact, I'm trying to be better for you guys about it. Yeah, Real Life Entrepreneurship with Griffin Thomas. That's the little icon for it. It's on all of the platforms. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get better for you guys because, I mean, you can see when I'm publishing pretty frequently. December, I'm trying to find my episodes. Where are they at? Here we go. So, yeah, I mean, the last episode was posted 20 days ago, about 3 weeks ago to the day, as a matter of fact. And as you can tell by the little amount of downloads, I haven't done the best job of advertising it or anything like that, like telling you guys, letting you guys know about it. But yeah, I do post on there as well for those of you that are interested. I'm also into investing in the stock market stuff, which you have some. Yes. That was actually what I did on YouTube. That's actually where we kind of got our first, I would say at least our first 1,000 subscribers, roughly 500 to 1,000 minimum, was from our stock market investing as well as like Amazon FBA and eBay videos. Because like I said, just on my channel in general, I document my overall entrepreneurial journey. I notice every day I'm gaining 5 to 10 subs, but then I'll lose a few because like some people don't want to see, the pest control content, and some people don't want to see the some people don't want to see like just straight up Google marketing, Google ads content, and some people don't want to see investing content. And, I can't make everyone happy every single video, where I think a lot of people will think that when they're subscribing to the channel that just every video is going to be about whatever it is that they found us for, when in reality, if you pull up my YouTube channel, try and get it pulled up here for you guys. What does it say here? It just says business and self-improvement. It doesn't say pest control business. It doesn't say investing. It doesn't say stock trading. It doesn't say, just self-improvement. It says business self-improvement. I tried to keep that broad on purpose. That way when people would see the channel, they would kind of figure, oh, okay, so it's overall business and self-improvement. Business can be obviously many subjects. It can be marketing. It can be entrepreneur, quote-unquote entrepreneurship, which is just fancy word for business ownership. But entrepreneurship, it's the motivation, it's the discipline, it's, the pest control business, it's investing in the stock market and stock futures options. Like, there's a lot that goes into just the business category. So that's why I was trying to keep it somewhat vague in terms of that artwork that was made. But, is what it is at the end of the day. Hopefully in 2 or 3 years I can come back and give you great news. No, I mean, keep us updated as well. Like, I know there was one dude in here, I think his name was My World. He hasn't joined a live stream in a while, which is kind of disappointing, in all honesty, because he started tuning into the live streams like a year or two ago. Probably not quite 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago. And he joined religiously. Every live stream he'd hop in. How's it going, guys? This and that. And he let us know probably maybe 6 months ago, roughly, that, he pulled the trigger, started his business, had his best month, this and that. And we haven't heard from him in a while. I'm not taking it personal or anything. I mean, I probably know from firsthand experience that he's super busy. I'm willing to bet you all 100% this dude is super busy. He's probably doing 10K plus right now, and his head's probably spinning. He probably just had his first couple 10K months. End of the year, his head is probably spinning right now. So he's probably super busy. But I definitely love to hear your all's updates on your journey as well. I make bonuses on my revenue. I'm going to start saving my money monthly. Save my monthly bonuses. It'll end up doubling how much. Oh, yeah, that'll be awesome. That will be awesome. Entree Leadership. Yeah. A little Dave Ramsey word there. That's a good book too. Entree Leadership's a pretty good book. I always have to. I'm not the type to sit down and actually read front to back a book. I skim books for information. Like I don't even have my bookshelf in here because it's in my room now. But I will literally just open books randomly and just try to skim them because I'm just looking for more information. And I'm not saying like literally like flip every single page like super quick, but like instead of reading a whole page, I'll take like 10 to 20 seconds, just skim, and just it allows me to go through books quicker because like I'm not reading it for the book, I'm reading it for the information. I don't know if that makes sense. It probably sounds crazy, but that just got me thinking. Entree Leadership. That's a good book that I've skimmed through a few times. It's got some good stuff. And I love Jocko. Yeah, I haven't read a Jocko book yet. Actually, I need to. I need to get my Audible subscription back up too, so I can listen to some on the treadmill or Stairmaster or stuff like that at the gym. How's it going there, Tropical Fruit Loops? Glad to see you tonight. Just finished up my best months to starting 4 months ago. 6K. Money. That's what we like, boy. It's awesome. Great job. Grateful. It's been a lot of highs and lows. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Trust me, man. I know all about it. We're all in it together. One last question. If you're comfortable answering, who do you use for your uniforms? Oh, yeah. For the most part, I will use this company. Was it Queensboro? See if I can find it. Yeah. So it looks like a little queen, hence the name Queensboro. And oddly enough, they're located like half an hour from me in Farmers Branch, Texas. They do most of their stuff is embroidery. What we usually use is we'll go in here. A lot of times they'll have good, like right now, here you go, $14.95 for the polos. These are the same polos that you all have probably seen me use in some of my videos, the gray ones and the white ones too, with like the little white Preferred Pest Management logo. These are the same exact shirts right here. So let's show you guys what these look like. So they have women's and men's, $14.95. Mine may, I'm not signed in right now. Can't sign in at all because I don't know what my 4-digit pin is. Like you can see, $14.95. I usually get this gray color. Believe it or not, it's a little bit darker than this. It's not quite this. I mean, you guys have seen my gray shirts that I wear. And then, of course, your logo goes right directly on the chest. And, yeah, I mean, it's not expensive at all. Let's just say, for example, we wanted to purchase 5 of them, which is what I usually do. I try to get like a work week amount. Let's see. Let's say we just did that. See, look, it won't even let me buy because I'm 25 cents short of their minimum. So as you can tell, you can get a full week's worth of shirts right now. And by the way, that price includes putting your logo on it, because I know I didn't put a logo on it just then for you guys. There's no upcharge for putting the logo on it. Like, that is the price of the shirt. So if you guys aren't using them already, definitely check them out. They're pretty quick. I don't know if it's because I'm so close to them that I get them really quick. They usually say it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get your shirts, get your order to you. But from my experience, it usually only takes about a week, roughly. A week and a half. Not bad at all, in my opinion. And they do have more than just polos, because I know some of y'all are going to worry about, we need long sleeve. One, if you're that worried about it, you could just wear long sleeve under it. But they do have long sleeves as well. Long sleeves are usually around $25 to $45, depending on if they're on sale or not. I tried a few places for embroidered golf shirts. Vistaprint, best quality. Yeah, Vistaprint's good too. My cousin actually used them, I believe, once or twice as well. There's a bunch of good options. And another thing you might want to do too is Google embroidery company near me. Sometimes it can even be better and quicker if you just go to a place like Academy Sports, get some, polos or long sleeves that are was it BCG or whatever the Academy Sports brand is. Just buy those shirts for really cheap, like $10 or whatever they come out to, $10 to $20, and then take it to an embroidery company. They'll ask for like a file of your logo or whatever, and you'll send it to them usually through email or whatever, and they could do that as well. I had a buddy that I talk about often on here in the Wiley, Texas area, who that's what he did for his shirts. So there's a lot of options when it comes to that. Any books you recommend, not solely pest control, but business in general? The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, of course, is kind of a staple that everyone likes. EntreLeadership by Dave Ramsey. Oh my gosh, I'm going to miss so many. There's so many good ones. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm already blanking just off the top of my head. Think and Grow Rich. I think that was by, Napoleon Hill, if I remember right. Man, I'm like trying to just visually bring them into my head. Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. Look at those, there's so many. This is more so a leadership book than a business book, but of course leadership and business go hand in hand. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Never Split the Difference. I already said Think and Grow Rich. The Compound Effect. The Compound Effect's a very small book too. Man, trying to think. There's so many, man. Let me see if maybe even just doing a quick Google search can jog some of my memory. Best business books. Surely some will pop up on here that I remember. Yeah, I already said the 10X Rule. The Psychology of Money. I've listened to that on Audible. It's pretty good. Where I say Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I've heard from people that Your Next 5 Moves by PBD, Patrick David, I've heard mixed reviews on it. I usually like most of his material. I just haven't read or listened to it yet. 0 to 1. I have read and listened to this. This is a pretty good one as well. It is more tech geared though, I'll say. Not necessarily a book you need to read. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've listened to this multiple times because it's just so heavy in terms of the knowledge that's in there. Definitely suggest that. Man, there's the Never Split the Difference I was talking about. Do not read books like this. All these get rich quick type of BS. It's just, ugh. Anything that says anything about getting rich quick or get rich by a certain age, throw it in the trash. I'm trying to see if there's any others in here that, would help you all that I'm not thinking of. Any of Alex Hormozi's books have been hands down just killers. I haven't read $100 Million Offers yet, but his other book, oh my gosh, what's it called? It's $100 Million Leads or something like that. 100 million. Yeah, I think it's $100 Million Leads. Yes, this is a good book as well. This is actually where I got the idea of the whole lead magnet thing from. He's the kind of the quote unquote OG of, lead magnets, that term. This book is where I got a lot of that information from on creating lead magnets. Some of it's a little extreme, I will say. Some of it's stuff that we're I would never do that. But, that's the whole point. He's hey, you want to push it to this level. That's another great book. Man, I feel like I'm missing so many. I mean, there's been dozens that I've at least skimmed at this point. And then, of course, there's different little tax books that you should probably consider if you're not going to hire an accountant that first year or two. Audiobooks are best for workouts and exactly. Energy Bus is a good book. I'm listening to The Subtle Art of Not. Yeah, that's another good one. I haven't read it, but I've heard great things about that one too. Good for No is good. Yeah, I figured a lot of you guys would have books you like too. Like the shirts you have, not too professional looking. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's kind of what I was going for. Like, I want something that still looks like formidable, but not like, Orkin, nerdy, professional type either. And they're comfortable, dude. Like those short sleeve ones specifically that I wear, they're like an athletic, I always call it the Under Armour material. I forget the name of the actual material that's made out of. But it's made of that material, which is really nice in the Texas summers. Thanks, magical spelled incorrectly. Didn't mean that offensively, by the way. Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like Orkin. Extreme Ownership. Yep, that's another one. I haven't read that one still either, but I need to. The Economy of Leadership. As well from Technician CEO. The Evolution of a High-Grown... Oh, that's a book? The Evolution of a High-Grown Pest Control Company. Huh. I'll have to look into that. I always keep the chat pulled up even like the next day after a YouTube stream. That way, sometimes you guys will leave little dimes in here like this, and it gives me something to like go look up. Oops, did not mean to do that. Or go look into. Thought I accidentally just muted you on accident. Let me see. I was trying to think if we were looking at Google Ads, right? Or no, we already did that. Yeah, we already looked at our Google Ad campaign. CPC, not too bad. I mean, we can't complain about that. What else? Yeah, from tech to CEO. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's something I'm going to have to do someday. Oh, God, I hate writing, though. I hate writing. Like, I don't mind doing short form stuff, like little blog content and stuff like that, but, man, I can't imagine writing a book. Yeah, from tech to CEO. I joined your Facebook group last night. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Speaking of the Facebook group, this will load up here. Come on. Yeah, we got now over 100 of you guys in there. We just started the Facebook group earlier this year. If you guys aren't in that already, definitely join that. Links for everything, of course, are in my description box. Oops, I did not see that you, Kyle Bailey. If you're in here right now, let me know. Yeah, I just seen that. That's probably what one of these notifications are. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, and you guys can post in here. Like, it's not just for like me to like post the videos and whatnot. You guys can post questions and all that stuff in there. There's that, and then of course there's the Discord group on top of that for you guys as well. The Discord has a lot more people in it. It's pretty quiet in there, especially in the evening. I'm trying to see where I can see how many people are in that group right now. There used to be a way to see it pretty easy. Ah, there we go. Let's see. 10. Yeah, there's almost 300 people in there now. So, yeah, pretty cool to see that group continue to grow as well. Sometimes I kind of go MIA on accident in Discord because on my phone, I have like limits set or whatever for like social media, and Discord of course gets lumped into that. So if I don't remember to go into Discord at some point during the day, like once my social media time limit's been hit, then like I don't get any notifications of course from Discord. Unless if I'm on the laptop or something, of course. But I try to be pretty frequent in there as well to answer your all's questions too. Let's see. It's a good read. Write a book. Yeah, I'll need to. I've got a logo, door hangers with a coupon, business cards designed already. I was thinking about getting single hoodie or a vest with a logo as motivation. Yeah, get you something. Yeah. That, what do they call it? Visualization, manifestation, something like that. Hey man, I'd read your book. I joined just now. I joined Discord or the Facebook group, something like that. Must have joined Facebook because I know on Discord it'll show me, if someone joined. Let me see. Facebook, I have to go into the group and approve it, which reminds me too, by the way, if any of you all have tried to join, it says no new today, so maybe you did mean Discord. See, we got 7 people still pending. The reason is not answering that you are going to abide by the rules and not answering membership questions. I'm not going to show names. I just realized I'm showing your all's names. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, that's just more so one kind of common sense, right? We want to make sure that you're not going to try to come into the group and start selling people BS or, starting fights with people, just common sense stuff. At least just answer that, that you agree at the minimum to the rules. That's all that I ask. It's not, a bunch of Facebook Nazis in there. You guys know how chill I am. I also got a gold mine. Watch the roof strategist. I do strictly door knocking, and this guy has some information. Brought me in from a 1 in 200 to 1 in 20. Wow. Yeah, so you just gave me an idea of what to look up as well. I don't door knock, but oops, crap. Man, see, I almost mute somebody. I don't door knock, but it's not to say I'll never door knock, and that I'll probably want to door knocking, my own door knockers, maybe, you never know. What is the Discord? Discord is also in my LinkTree. Let me just pull up the live stream real quick. I'll mute my... or turn it way down, if nothing else. Oops. Let's see. So if you go in to the stream and you go down into that description box, I'll go ahead and give myself a thumbs up. First off, before you go there, hit that little button right there if you haven't already. Of course, you have all the stuff, all the description mumbo jumbo. Where it says my LinkTree, if you just click this link right here, it'll pop up my LinkTree. And if you click Discord group, it'll take you straight to our Discord. If you don't have Discord on your phone or whatever you're using, you'll have to get that first. Sign up, all that, and then you can join Discord from there. And then this, of course, will take you to the Facebook group as well. And then, of course, if you hit the subscribe, that's going to subscribe you to our YouTube. Follow TikTok. I believe it'll do it all at the same time, if I remember right. Maybe not, actually. I don't know what this is for. I'll have to look into that at some point. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Which, by the way, last little plug. We're trying to get up to 1,000, and I was more so just answering your question about Discord. I'm kind of going off on a little tangent here. We're trying what's the word I'm trying to use here? We're trying very man, I can't even talk until it's almost midnight. Let's just say we're trying to get up to 1,000 followers over on TikTok. That way we can start going live on TikTok as well as YouTube at the same time. Because I know there's a lot of people anymore that are like heavy borderline addicts on TikTok. So, to just, continue to try to reach more people. We're trying to hit 1,000 followers over there. We're stuck around 700 for the longest. It seems like we're slowly but surely starting to trend up towards 750 and 800. But the more we can get over there, even if you don't, watch TikTok or anything, if you could just give us a quick little follow over there, I appreciate it immensely. Wow, that was incredibly warm. Let me go ahead and pour that in my ice. I don't even like soda, hence why I'm drinking a 0-calorie one, because sodas and juice and all that crap are just wasted calories. But I was too lazy to go out to my truck and grab my pack of water because it's freaking cold outside. It's like, what's the temperature out here right now? Freaking 36 degrees. I'm in Texas. It ain't supposed to be this cold. Let's see. I will jump in there as well. Oh, right on. Oh yeah, there you are. I always forget how you do this. More stickers. Let's see what we got down here. Cheerful. Do a little wave for you. There we go. Yeah, Discord's funny. Cool. Let's see. Oh, nice. I'll check it out. Thanks. I give quotes now, but I'm also tech. So I do know how to do sales a bit. I do not door knock, though. Definitely something I get into, though, in the beginning. I found it. Cool. It's 44 New York. What the hell is going on? I do know, though, like, this is supposed to be, like, one of the coldest nights of the year. Yeah, I guess it's going to get down to 33 tonight. Tomorrow it's going to be back in the low 50s, which sucks, man. I'm ready for them 60s to return. Saturday and Sunday we're back in the 60s, but we're going to cool off again later next week. I don't know. We're kind of in a cold stretch right now, which I will say, down here in Texas, it is pretty normal for January and first week or two of February to be extremely cold. Like, that's our 4 to 6 weeks of just cold. Is sometime in January through early mid-February. It's just cold. And when I say cold, I mean like teens through 30s overnight, 30s through 50s during the day. That's our version of cold down here. But it only lasts like 4 to 6 weeks. And then usually by around that like third week roughly of February, third, fourth week of February, we start hitting like 50s and 60s pretty consistently. And then, it's just hotter from there. You all know Texas, I'm sure. 34 in Iowa, not too far off from us. Snowed a handful of times. I don't miss that stuff. Just a bunch. Yeah, we did get a bunch of rain earlier this week. 50s, I would be in shorts and a tee. Oh, hell no. It was about 49 degrees. Today was the coldest day so far this year. Well, this winter, not this year. Like this winter so far. And I was going to be getting on my roof to like take down Christmas lights and stuff. Nah, that didn't happen. Because I was wearing pants, a long sleeve, not like nothing crazy, just pants and a long sleeve, and I was cold. I was like, no, I'm going back inside, forget this. Which was pretty much 50s. Like I said, it was 48, 49 degrees. It may have even hit 50 briefly, but no, in that shade it was cold. I was not messing with it. But I wanted to see, I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything that I missed for you guys in terms of, I guess speaking of just overall like yearly numbers, we can even take a look just at, what is our, we'll run this back from like January 1st of 23 until right now. What? Why is it not showing anything? It's not even showing our cost. What is going on with some of this stuff today, man? Let me try something. Because I do got 2 accounts. I forgot about that. Because I took advantage of Google's little $500 credit with 2 accounts. So I got $1,000 in credits. Probably shouldn't be admitting that. But hey, they're the one that sent me 2 postcards. Like one for each account. What the hell? So this is all time. I don't want all time. I just want 2023. Okay, so we didn't use this account. What is going on then? Why is my account not showing what I spent earlier this year? Was it with this account? Because y'all even remember that I ran that freaking campaign earlier this spring. Not for very long or anything. I was just trying to get like a whole, like a 1-year scope, talking about outstanding charges. Hell are you talking about? I know last time I used this account. Dude, stop interrupting me. January 1. We'll just leave that because, like I said, obviously I haven't used this account. So I haven't used this account this year either. I'm so confused then. Where is all my ad spend from early this year? Why is it not showing up? Was it because I'm just on this campaign? Let me see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. So it was showing for that specific campaign. Now we're in the actual overall homepage. Okay. I was like, what is going on, dude? Because I knew that we spent money earlier this year on multiple campaigns, right? We even ran another one, summer, all that type of stuff. So this year we spent just over about $3,500 on Google Ads. Average CPC around $16.79. What I am interested to see more than anything would be conversions, which I'm pretty sure conversions aren't even really, well, they are showing up for some of them. That's interesting. Most of the conversions obviously were from this recent campaign because, like I said, now this most recent campaign, we've had enough ad money going in, and not just that, but we've really kind of started to figure it out, so to speak. Most of our conversions, like we said, are from the last few weeks alone. Where these other campaigns, look at that, $170, not one conversion. One conversion on $20, not bad. $62, no conversion, or wait a minute. Yeah, no conversions. I mean, look at all this money spent with just no conversions. Like I said, we had a couple back here, but compared to all the money that we spent for only 2 conversions, awful. Where now, that's the main thing to pay attention to. Where's this blue line? Where's your conversions at compared to Let's get rid of clicks, get rid of CPC. Where are your conversions compared to where is your cost? Your cost and conversion your cost should not be this big of a spread. $367. Yeah, just crazy. Where now, $350 for 5 conversions. $143 for 5 conversions, right? Not bad at all. Like we finally have kind of, quote unquote, cracked the code, so to speak. What's the code? Combination of things. Spend more money per day. Watch your campaign like a hawk. Use exact words only for the most part. Have a good lead magnet. A good ad copy in terms of your description. Don't worry at all about your quality score that Google gives you. That's the main thing. Because, like we said, we're talking what? 1, 6, 11, 12. Well, here we can just go back to what we were looking at recently. What was it? 12 conversions on $649. Not a bad cost per conversion at all. What was it, like $54, something like that? Yeah, that's not bad at all. I'll take that all day, every day of the week. Let's see. Ugh, 20s. Ugh. Let's see. Almost one for me. Almost one. Man. Let's see. 20 minutes from Capital and Upstate. Heck yeah. Let's see. Tropical Fruit Loop says, what does 19 convert? No. Okay. So 19 conversion, well, in this case, 12 conversions. Conversions are pretty much just leads. Like it's someone either called us, submitted a lead form. Those are the conversions that we have set up. You can set up any type of conversion. You can set up when someone lands on your landing page, scrolls on. You can have conversions for literally anything just about that you want. For us, conversions are when someone either submits a lead form or calls the phone, calls us, regardless if it's calling from the ad directly, like within Google search, because they have where you can obviously, do the little call button on the ad, or if it's a call from the website. Either way, you're talking, $54 per lead, not per acquisition, if that makes sense. The closing rate, that's gonna be based on, just what is your average closing percentage. The market average for pest control in general is, lowest to lowest, usually around 35-40%. Highest to highest, 60, maybe 70. So, most people are kind of right in that middle. 40 to 50 is what I tend to tell people. Which again, it depends on your sales process. The marketing can only, that's where a lot of people get confused, is they'll think that the marketing is just going to result in customers just signing up. All that the marketing can do is get you the lead. From there, it's up to you in your closing process, your sales process, your funnel process, whatever terminology you want to use to close the customer. Now, obviously, there's going to be some tweaks along the way where, say, you're noticing that your ad is getting a bunch of leads, but you're getting a bunch of unqualifieds. Well, then maybe you need to go in there and edit, what type of you need to edit some of the demographics. Maybe you need to take out bottom 50% of household income, like put that as, you don't want your ad shown for those people. Maybe you don't want it showing for like the top 5% because they're cheap assholes that don't want to spend money. Like, there's just things that you'll want to pay attention to. Maybe you notice women are responding better. Women between ages 25 and 40 are responding the best. So maybe you target them more and exclude men. Like, there's going to be a lot of moving parts to your ad that can help with in terms of your lead quality, if that makes sense. And that's one thing that, if you guys, for whatever reason, decide that you just don't want to do that once you start your business, you're just like, man, that's a lot to handle. Like I said, I don't necessarily try to like sell a service to you guys or anything like that, but we can look to like set something up for you where we're like kind of doing that behind the scenes for you, doing like a weekly check-in, weekly, monthly, whatever, your calendar would allow for check-ins, just to, see, hey, what's the lead quality? Ideally weekly. Like, you want to do weekly check-ins, because why would you want to add to run at $100 a day and you're just getting shit leads coming in, right? You need to be able, at least once a week, regardless if you have somebody doing it for you or if you're doing it yourself, you need to sit down at least once a week and figure out, okay, we had, say, 10 leads, 12 leads come in. How many of them were qualified? Only 6. Well, guess what? That means right from the get-go, our closing rate, 50%. That's if we close the rest of the 6, right? Get what I mean? So, I mean, say your lead quality is shit and you're losing 50%, your 12 just went to 6, and then your closing rate from there is going to be 50%. Now, your closing rate on that 12 is 3 out of 12. You're at 25%. So, that's why, like, there's a lot of moving parts. It's way more intense in terms of the focus on lead quality than just your Google Organic, right? Because Google Organic is not costing you anything other than time and effort. Google Ads, Google Local Service Ads, any ads that you're running, regardless of what platform it's on, you want good lead quality. Like, that's just, it makes sense, I'm sure. But for us specifically, because I think I saw someone ask that in here. Let me see. Yeah, what is your closing rate on your leads? So far on these 12, we've been hovering, a net, again, based on shit lead quality, just not even factoring in, like taking those out, just factoring in on that 12. We've closed what I know for a fact is 3. And I know we've got at least 1 or 2 quotes that are still kind of up in the air. One of them that we did close was a commercial account that we already got $400 plus tax out of, and is going to be $95 per follow-up, per treatment, I should say. It's for rodents specifically. They also have a second location that we may end up, getting them on, it sounds like, potentially. It's hard to say. We'll see. But it sounds like it's going to be, assuming they stay with us at the bare minimum 6 months, it'll end up being, let me see. It'll end up being somewhere around, oops, oh my gosh, I just did my math wrong. It'll end up being around $1,065 plus tax. That's if they only stuck with us for about 5 to 6 months. I always like to kind of factor in what I think is like the worst case scenario. That was the best that this ad has gotten us so far. It's gotten us, I know, 2 residential sales as well. What else? There was another commercial quote that did not go through, unfortunately. They were looking for the cheapest company, is what it is. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think there's one more quote still somewhere, but either way, in terms of where we're at right now, that comes out to what, like 3 guarantees. So again, 3 out of 12 in that case. Not, the best or anything right now, but in terms of cost per sale, let's do the math on that really quick. So let's see. how do we do that math? Would that be 54 times 4? So yeah, our cost per sell, if that other quote doesn't go through, our average cost per acquisition would be right at $216, or just under, like $215 and change per acquisition. Little high, but we have just now finally started to get this kind of dialed in too. Where the lead quality specifically, right around December, December 10th, December 9th through present has been much better. So I'm interested to see kind of how January and February go with this ad. I'll keep you guys updated on it. I'll probably be adding some more videos to the Google Ads series as well, that playlist on our channel. iMagical says, going to bed. I've been watching your videos for a while since I've been thinking of starting my business soon. I'm glad you caught a live stream. Yeah, no, I appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you in some future ones. Have a nice night. I hope you catch. Hope do catch you next stream. Yeah. I think my closing is average 66%. My closing average is 66%. Yeah, no, and that's not bad at all. And are you running? That's right, you're still working, like for someone right now. Yeah, and everything is different in term. Like one thing that I'm really going to focus on a lot more in 24, since we're focusing heavy. I'll give you guys kind of a behind the scenes look of some things that I'm working on right now with like Zapier. Which Gmail is it? I think it's this one. Got all these freaking accounts. So now that we're starting to get better about setting up these different zaps for like lead tracking and things like that, my goal is to really hyper focus on a couple things. One, focus on our closing rate for each specific source that we have leads coming in from, be it Google Ads, Facebook Organic, Facebook Ads, Nextdoor Organic, Nextdoor Ads. I don't know if I said Google yet, but Google Organic, Google Ads, Google Local Service. Like, I want to be able to track better, like what is our closing rate, what's our lead volume, even down to like KPIs that are like, probably not even seen as KPIs, just like on which platform does this service sell the best, or not does this service sell the best, but what plan is being sold the most per platform. What else? There's some other things that I'm going to be working on too. Follow up, of course. Being that kind of goes hand in hand with all of this. Being able to track the leads a lot better right here in Gorilla Desk. That's going to make doing follow up a lot easier. Another thing that we're doing that we actually just started. We finally kind of got a hold of it. We've been with MailChimp now for like a month or two, but we had some issues with like how our contacts were being imported through the CSV file. One thing we've been doing recently is more email and like text message marketing campaigns. I plan on really cranking this out heavy in 2024. Wanted to kind of show you guys. So like, for example, right now, this is one I just sent out this past, literally about 5 hours ago, roughly. It says 8:30 p.m., but that's in Eastern time. So for example, how this one looks here, which I'll be interested to see kind of what this looks like. This is kind of what it looks like right here. We have our yearly, rowlette best of. Damn, we're still in second too. I'm gonna be pissed if we lose this year. But I'm probably gonna send that out one more time, probably either tomorrow or the day after, because I want to win my third in a row. I'm a competitive mofo at the end of the day. But this is just a prime example of a quick little email marketing thing that we threw together on MailChimp, and it's pretty cheap too, if I remember right. It's like $20, and that also comes with our SMS, which we did run a quick little, what do you want to call it? Like a little campaign. I'm trying to see if I can find it. And I had 2 people actually respond to it too on top of that, which was pretty cool. Trying to see if I can show you guys like a preview of that. I don't know if that's a good unsubscribe rate or not. I don't think it's too bad for only 200 and some odd people. But this is what it looked like right here. A little picture with the $100 off. This was like a reconnect SMS marketing campaign to previous customers who don't have an active service with us right now. It said, happy holidays. Next 20 customers that respond to this deal, we are offering our pest control services and warranty for an entire year for just $4.99 plus tax. Respond more to redeem this offer. And then, of course, they put this in here automatically, which is your unsubscribe rate or whatever. It'll show you that they unsubscribed and all that stuff, which is actually cool because then you can export this as a CSV. That way, whenever you run your next campaign, you're not pissing people off by continuing to, send them emails or text messages or whatever the case may be, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's something we're really going to start cranking out as well. In 24, we're going to have customer list updated pretty much every few days to a week. One will be active customers, non-active customers who have had service in the past, and then leads. And the leads will probably even be broken up into subcategories with tags and things like that, where it's like lead for termite, lead for rodent, lead for general pest, lead for mosquito, right? So on and so on. That way we can literally hyper target this marketing. Because that's one thing I can tell you guys for a fact I have highly underutilized is remarketing, retarget marketing. I can only imagine how much thousands of dollars we've left on the table with that. Because I know even just from my experience with Gorilla Desk with their little reconnect email, I'll usually get a couple people a year who they'll get the reconnect email about, hey, it's Preferred Pest Management. It's been over 180 days since we came out to do your last service. Are you needing anything? And they'll respond to the email, hey, yeah, I've actually been seeing some ants. And then boom, next thing I know, I sell them on a yearly for $500. Like, just from that alone, where I'm not even trying, we're getting sales. So I can only imagine once we start cranking these bad boys out, how it's going to go. If everything goes as planned with no interruptions, plan on opening late 2025, earlier 2026. So that'd be about 2 years from now, roughly, sounds like. Also, I know you mentioned it previously. I do manifest often and definitely manifest about this. Just definitely keep on keeping on. And, trust me, it is real. It's real. MailChimp, I got hella numbers in the phone. God, and if you use something like a Gorilla Desk where it has it pretty well organized for you in terms of one thing that I did, which was very easy from the get-go, was I organized it based on, which of our customers don't have a service, right? That's one group to target. And then which of our customers do have a service, another group that we can target to try to upsell potentially. And Now with that, with the upsell, you gotta be a little bit careful because you don't want to try to upsell somebody who, like us, is on a preferred protection plan, right? You want to go in there and definitely put some filters in place on the file in the documents, or not documents, in the Excel spreadsheet and whatnot. But it makes it where, I want to see if I can show you guys kind of what I mean here. So like you see here, it says 542 contacts. Let's see. Trying to show you guys. Let's see. That's funny. That's already shown me some of this stuff. I've only sent out one email marketing campaign and one text message marketing campaign. What was I trying to do? So like I said, you can add tags to organize the audience even better. Man, I was trying to show you guys, like, I guess we can go into tags maybe. So yeah, you can see where I have it in here as current customers as of 12/27. So if I wanted to send just a broad message, like I did that one where I was asking them to vote for us as Rowlett's best pest control company, I would obviously send that to all of our customers, our current customers. Why? Because they're going to be the most likely to vote for us, right? I haven't really utilized any more of these. I have used the not eligible for any promos just because there's been a couple of customers that slipped through that, I guess I could just delete them if I wanted to, but just wanted to make sure they didn't get emails sent on accident or anything. Let's see. It's a great tool though. I'll have to see if they have any type of that's another thing too that I'm working on actually, is on the website you can actually, trying to find it here, you can actually integrate MailChimp with your website for like pop-ups, form submissions, things of that nature. So it may replace my current form with Formidable that I'm paying like $100 a year for, almost $10 a month essentially. So if it can save me like 10 plus a month or whatever, which I pay for the year anyways, but if it essentially can save me $10 a month, it almost pays for the subscription for this on its own. So yeah, I'll have more videos and stuff like that about MailChimp coming out for you guys in the future as well. But I was getting at too is I'll see if I can find out, they're a big company so they may not, but if they have any type of like affiliate code or anything where you can get some kind of discount, I'll have to start putting that in my LinkTree, in the description box for you guys as well. I just voted for you. Yeah, no, it's allowed. They say like they track the IP addresses, but oh yeah. No, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, no, like they check the IP addresses or whatever just to make sure like you're not putting in the same, you're not submitting a review over and over, which is hilarious. Have they not heard of VPNs or whatever they're called, right? Like you can literally get a new IP address, easily. But yeah, well, I don't even remember what it was as a matter of fact. Let me see. It was like best of Rowlett something. What was it anyways? I know I like copied and pasted it to the button. bestofrowlett.com/category. I don't know what the heck the 2517 is about. And to be honest, I feel like it's kind of rigged towards people that are chamber members. This dude hasn't even claimed his listing yet, but I noticed when I jumped up into first, and I had a lot of people submit reviews about a week ago roughly, and we jumped up to first. Tell me why, like within 30 minutes, I was back down to second. I was like, seems kind of sketch, because this whole thing is put on by the Chamber of Commerce, and I think they're a little salty that I didn't want to, re-sign up for another year. Because, Chamber of Commerce is, especially in towns, are small. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That'd be year number 3 in a row, though, if we did win it, which would be pretty cool. But, yeah, no, I appreciate y'all. Y'all are awesome. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Y'all are awesome. Let's see. All right, it's been a good... Has it really? I haven't even paid attention to that. I can't tell if it is or not. Wow, we've had 70 of y'all tune in tonight. That's awesome. Well, I'm sure some of it's been people, hopping in and out. But 70 views tonight. Let's see, I've been on here for about 3 hours. That's crazy. I have notifications on. Yes. Lastly, when you have your notifications on, make sure on your phone, this is for you iPhone people specifically, I'm sure Android is the same way, but whenever you have your notifications on, make sure, if you're an iPhone user, scroll down in your settings all the way to YouTube, and where it says notifications, I don't know if you guys can see that, hopefully you guys can see that all right, where it says notifications, make sure that it says allow notifications, because I can actually see in my YouTube analytics there's something like about a quarter of you all, like 500 to 600 of you all have your notifications on, but then it tells me as well people with notifications on as well as YouTube notifications on, which means people that have that setting turned on. It's literally only like 200 of you. So like 300 of you, if not more, you're wanting to get the notifications, but you have the notifications for YouTube turned off. So apparently that's a thing that you can do with like every app now, which is cool because I know there's a lot of apps that annoy the hell out of me with how much they notify me. So it's cool, but just make sure if you do want to be notified that you do have both turned on. Otherwise, the only way you're going to see the notification is when you actually go into your YouTube app and you see the little bell icon with a notification. Then you'll see that I've, either went live, posted, whatever the case may be. And I'm trying to post a lot more for you guys as well, if you guys haven't noticed that. So, yeah, no, I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. We'll go ahead and probably wrap it up there. Like I said, just to kind of wrap up real quick, I'll just end on this little dashboard right here just to, recap this year, 2021, or 2021. My gosh, I'm tired. This year, 2023, we finished at a revenue of pretty much right at $158,000. Like we said, in terms of gross revenue, that puts us up just around 7% on the year. However, our recurring revenue grew at almost 30%. I think it was like 28%. If I remember right, 26.8 or 28.6, something like that, percent year over year. That part I am happy about, and I think it'll be much better in the future. I appreciate all of y'all tuning in as always. If you haven't already subscribed, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell icon, all that good stuff. Like we mentioned, that way you'll be notified every time we go live or upload another video. If you haven't already as well, do me a favor, smash the like button on the stream or video if you're watching this after it goes from a stream to a video. Share it with people. Can't tell you guys that enough. It helps big time whenever you guys share it with people because YouTube's algorithm is crazy, and sometimes people that could definitely benefit from the video don't always get to see them. So I appreciate you all tuning in as always, and hopefully you all have a great night. And if I don't hear from you all before then if I don't hear from you guys before the New Year's, if I don't hop on here or anything, then y'all have a happy New Year, and I'll see y'all in the next one.